Yeah. What's good, everybody? It's Tuesday night, so you already know it's time to get back down the rabbit hole, and we got a few of the best in the biz and some of my favorite to come on down with me. I want to welcome everybody that comes in tonight and everybody that sees it later. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat, but we are going to get right into it. I don't even really want to mess around. I just actually want to get right into it. I usually don't watch anything until I drop my theory videos, but I've been watching a couple live streams of other people talking, and I keep hearing pretty much, even my mother called me telling me what a moron Theon was and how bad he did it and how it was all wrong and what an idiot he is. And before I even get into it, what's up, Andy? Did Theon do it right? Was Theon an idiot? Was that just a horrible way to start? What's up?
Yes and no. I got so many problems with the episode. That's not really one of them. Like, yeah, he was running in like kind of a wiener, but like how he was holding that is probably not how you want to charge someone. That was probably pretty stupid. But his big thing was like he wanted to die. Like he knew he was going to die, and he wanted to die like a brave person. Like he wanted to die Theon Greyjoy, right? Like Theon, not. I think there's even a line about it where he doesn't want to die as Reek, and he wants to die as Theon. Or maybe I've seen that somewhere. But, you know, he knew he was going to die there. Bran knew he was going to die there. And however he does it, doesn't really matter. He got to die his way. And sometimes, you know, going out with your boots on is how you want to do it.
Right on. What's up? We have the ultimate middle of the road, the ultimate fence sitter, the one that likes to see both sides of it each and every time. Let us know, Fandom D Saint, did Theon do it right or wrong?
Hey, all Fandom D Saint here. And for me, I think it was like what T-Baby Street was the first time I hear like people were saying that Theon went down like a winner or whatever. I'm just like, what? He went down the way he should, man. He died defending freaking Winterfell, you know. He's a freaking Stark, and how he went out was great. He was not gonna just allow freaking the Night King just approach his freaking bro without trying to fight. That's someone I would freaking ride or die with, not just gonna either step aside or something. Regardless of how he went in charge, the Night King, regardless, he would have been dead. So let him just go out with a blaze of glory.
Blaze of mother-freaking glory, right on, doing it on top. We got the one and only Dragon up here on the panel with us. What's up, JD? Did Theon do it right or wrong?
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for having me on, DJ. Always freaking awesome to be here. Oh, did he do it right or wrong? Let's see. My biggest thing about the whole situation, if you're going to fight somebody, you know he's a superior fighter. You know you're going to get your ass kicked no matter what you're going to do. Are you seriously going to charge the motherfucker and hope the hell you're going to get a lucky shot at him? Or are you going to be a little bit arrogant and cocky and throw the fucking spear up a couple times and wait for him and do a little bit of a fight scene? I think they should have done a fight scene. I don't think he should have charged him because it was literally charge, click, broke, dead. I went, well, that was pointless. Give me a fight scene. That's all I wanted out of that whole situation. A fight scene. So technically, yes, it was wrong. But yeah, I wanted a fight scene, and it fucking sucked.
I feel you. We all wanted to see what kind of skills the Night King has, but you already know, they got a lot going on. They had to do what they do. Speaking of, we got one of my favorite, last but not least. He's one of the best, one of my favorite on the net, Big Pete Easy. Did Theon do it right or wrong?
Hey, man, Theon had to do what he had to do. I mean, right or wrong is basically in the eyes of Bran, and Bran said he was a good man. But I don't think Bran told him to go running in there stupid. He was like, he could have just went behind the tree. It's done now. You know what I mean? Like, you done fighting. You're a good man. But I think he felt like he had to do one last charge. He had to pull a Jamie. You know what I'm saying? So he did what he had to do. You know what I mean?
You could not have said that any better. You could not have said that any better. He pulled a Jamie. Just like Jamie knew he would probably get roasted by that dragon, he saw a shot to end it all, and he took it. And that's exactly what great battle commanders do. Jamie saw the chance. He said, this might be a 1 in a million shot, but I got to take it. I'm going to do it. Did you not see all those dead surrounding Theon? Theon was wore the fuck out. He had been doing it for a minute. He had just bodies laying on the ground. He had them dropped. He had fought till his last breath. He was already spent. And then you look around and all you see is 10,000 other motherfuckers standing around you. What are you going to do? If he tries to fight them all, he's mopped up. He has no chance. You're going to stand on top of Bran and just swing a stick until he gets you? What sense does that make? He saw a 1 in a million shot. He saw the Night King standing there, and he said, fuck it, I'm going for it. And he went to take that motherfucker out, and he went out like a motherfucking boss trying to do it. So all these people saying, like, he's an idiot, why'd he do that? He did it for glory. He did it because he's an excellent fucking battle commander. He saw his fucking chance to kill this bitch, and he fucking went for it. Theon did that shit right. That's what I have to say about that.
I can deal with a lot of that, but excellent battle commander, I disagree with wholeheartedly. That's the same shit that Jon Snow did when he killed fucking Rickon, and that was a terrible thing and almost got everybody killed. Like a battle commander is not going to do that. You're just the last soldier at that point. That's just sure. Take your last charge. It might be a good option in this stance because you can't just hold back and have a fight, right? Because you don't know which person's going to come fight you. It could be the guy next to him that's just going to kill you instantly, right? But you have a shot to pick the person that you want to fight. Go for it. I don't know about excellent battle commanding, though. That might be a bit of a stretch. But
hey, my man listened to tactics, thought what he listened to other people. He did it. This man took out a wildling when he had Bran with no remorse because he said he wasn't going to take a chance of him getting hurt. He took Winterfell with 20 fucking men. Ned said you could hold it with 500. Theon went and took it with 20. Like, Theon is a great battle commander. Theon has walked through many battles with Robb Stark and held him in.
Here's the problem with him taking Winterfell. There was literally nobody there. The army was gone. He took a bunch of women and children. That
Most of them. I'm saying he was smart enough to know that with 20 people he could do it. I'm not saying he was a big warrior and killing lots of people. I'm saying with 20 people he took one of the greatest castles in the north. He did it with his mind, not his brawn. So I do believe he was a great battle commander. But anyway, I just had a bunch. I saw that on a few people, and I just had to get that off my chest. I was like, come on now. Oh, we got my girl Shannon Thompson talking about, speaking of, was that 1-1 charged Lyanna? No, I know that was a giant with one eye, but Jon Snow already knew about that. There's no way he's going to leave a giant to become a white. He absolutely burned 1-1. That was not 1-1. That Lyanna killed. But damn, my little girl went out like a boss, didn't she, Pete?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Talking about Lyanna Mormont.
Absolutely, my little she-bear.
Yeah, she-bear went out like a boss. I mean, it was definitely fan servicey as much, and I guess Macumba was a little hungry, you know what I mean? Wanted to eat on her a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So he got her right up in there, and then she got the last stab. So, yeah, she went out like a boss, like how they wanted her to. Everything was how they wanted it to be.
Absolutely. I think they did it right. Fandom, what did you think? Like, how hyped were you getting? They took a long time before that battle started. Like, they were building up that intensity and building up that drama. Like, when is this going to start? Trying to make us feel like the soldiers. Like, how hyped were you getting before anything even started?
Man, I was worried before I even, put on my HBO Go. I'm like, come on, let's hurry it up. Even I'd be hating when even do those freaking commercials in the beginning, like it's pointless. But finally, even how he even opened up, you can see freaking Sam is freaking terrified before they even hand him the damn dragon fast. You can see everyone just looking to the distance, into the darkness, say, okay, are we gonna live? Are we gonna die? And then pop out of nowhere, freaking Melisandre. Man, it was crazy. It was intense.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely. Dragon, you're a fan of the direwolves. I know you're a dragon, but you're a fan of the direwolves. What the hell was Ghost doing out there in the Vanguard? Like, what is he doing out there? That made no sense to me.
It didn't make sense to me. I wasn't a fan of where they set Ghost in this episode. Like, if anything, he should have been set. We knew Jon was going to ride Rhaegal. He should have been down in the fucking crypts with Sansa and Tyrion and the rest of the fucking women and children. That should have been their line of protection. Having him on the front line chasing Jorah was probably... I remember watching it, and I just stared at the TV, and I went, what the fuck? And then he disappeared, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's a goner. Like, that was my first thought. Like, you put him in the Vanguard... You're watching this beautiful scene of this arrowhead of flames charging, and then one by one, they just start going out. You're like, that was gorgeous, but there's Jorah. Few Dothraki. I don't see a white wolf. Oh, fuck. He's dead.
You're like, no, he can't be dead. So thank God they showed us that in the previews that he made it through. But what about you, Andy? Like the way they were panning through, they went from Sam, and then in the background we saw our little she-bear barking orders and getting people on point. And then we saw my man Tyrion. Everybody else is grabbing weapons. My man Tyrion's grabbing the wine. He's getting ready his way. Like, how'd you think about how all this started? Were you getting hyped?
Yeah, I was pretty hyped at the beginning. I immediately, as it started, you're panning towards when you got Sam out there and he's going to fight and stuff. And I thought immediately, well, shit, that means Ed's dead because Sam is the master of getting people that are trying to protect him killed. So I was like, well, shit, he's goner. Which on that note, I want to point out that my man Tormund's still alive, but Beric Dondarrion's dead. So that's one for me, big guy. But yeah, I was getting pretty hyped. Like, I liked that whole beginning. I was talking to Pete on Discord before this, and he kind of put in my head, it was kind of like that Cersei blowing up the Sept scene, where it's just kind of music going, and it's setting up the scene. You're seeing everybody do it. I had some strategic things that I didn't like why would you have trebuchets like in the middle of your people? That's dumb as shit. You want them behind to throw it over the people. That seems stupid. But whatever. But yeah, the setup, I'm getting off on a tangent. The setup was good. I liked all that. Set it up nicely. My problems are all the shit that happened after.
Speaking of big boys, how cool is that, Pete, when freaking the Hound comes mobbing through, like, get out of my way. I'm about to be in the front line of all this. And Sick Gendry right in tow with him. It's like, big man on point. I was like, I liked everything about this start. Were you on point with it?
I mean, I love the beginning. The first 15 to 20 minutes of this episode was the greatest episode of Game of Thrones, but it just went crazy. Especially, that's why I got the Hound upside down right here, because, like, he completely bitched up. I mean, like, I thought we was over this fire thing with the fucking polar bears and stuff. Like, come on, bro. Like, let it go, man. Like, you got to kill your brother next episode or two. Like, that was really disappointed me with the Hound, bro. Like, when he dished up. But, I mean, he turned around with Arya, but, hey,
He did. But I was the same way. I thought he was a little more over that. But more importantly, fandom, I'm saving this big one for you. What the hell was the greatest, basically, warriors in the North, the entire Dothraki, the ones you want by your side when battle's coming? Why are they just sacrificing them in the vanguard to just go out there and die? I mean, JD's right. That was amazing. That just cinematically, that was epic with the torches coming up and the flaming arrow across the field. Like, it looked great, but that didn't make much sense to me. What were you thinking about that?
Exactly. It looked great. Even when Melisandre light those swords on fire, it was excellent. Just seeing, actually just something type of lighting in this damn episode. Every time when fire just appeared out of nowhere, I kind of wanted to applaud them, god damn it. But even when they even went out there, all of a sudden it just went out. I'm just like, what? And then I'm just reminding myself, oh yeah, Robert said only a fool would challenge the Dothraki in open field. I bet the Night King heard this, says, you know what? Hold my beer. Because apparently they just estimated them low diff. Freaking Jorah comes back safe. I'm like, where's Ghost? And that's another thing. Even though in the preview they show us Ghost is there, they should have showed him actually running back. Like, come on now. Because now I'm thinking that Ghost must have been probably one of the most top tier fighters tonight if he was literally out there this whole time just fighting all those whites. But it was just crazy. That just alone strike the fear into everyone's freaking hearts. Like, if you weren't afraid then, you should be now.
Right? Oh, that was so awesome. What's up? We want to thank everybody that is out there making it with us. We got T-Baby, Peter Griffin, the One Boy Wonder. We got my man I See Spots out there, Living My Rhapsody, Thrones VOL, The Imagination Realm, Shannon Thompson, Phoenix Rising. Thank you, everybody that's out there. The One True David Adams, keeping it real, all wrenched up. Thank you guys for being here. We're about to get into it. We had to start off right away because, I just couldn't contain it. A lot of people didn't like this episode, but you know what? I mean, yes, there should have been more major deaths. It's ridiculous. D&D have me 100% like feeling, okay, they're just going to go Hollywood. Yeah, we already know that the books are going one way and the show's going another, but are D&D absolutely going to Hollywood us out of here, Andy?
For the sake of my game, I certainly hope not, because everybody made it through the next round. So, I was pretty disappointed in that. I was like, damn it. I think I have this great game, and it totally is fucked up by this one damn episode where everybody should have died. But hopefully it'll work. I'm pretty sure they're gonna kill some people. They know this show is about twists. They're probably gonna do some convoluted twists, but I think they're gonna they're gonna kill some people. So I got faith that they're gonna kill some people and maybe bring the Night King back at some point. So cross my fingers. I got a little bit of hope left in me.
Speaking of a little bit of hope, we all got a little bit of hope. Like, there might just be a chance in the beginning. I mean, Sansa looks up, and we got 2 dragons roaring by overhead, and then Melisandre walks up, and you already knew. Like, as soon as they showed Davos's face and panned to somebody dark on a horse, you're like, that's Melisandre. You already know. So everybody who thought that little girl was Melisandre, you already know that would have been way too great of writing. There ain't no way that was Melisandre, but that would have been dope. But yeah, that was just absolutely epic. But JD, did you notice, like, the first Dothraki that ran across that field, or anybody can answer that? What the hell did he see that? Like, I paused on my TV. I got a pretty nice, big HD. I paused on it and I could not tell. Like, that first Dothraki that came across the field and looked up, there was like this big old like wooden thing right there. Like, it looked like a giant, but not really. I was like, is that a dragon? Like, what the hell was that thing?
I don't know. I remember seeing that because he kind of goes, and it might have been the giant. It possibly could have been the freaking giant or a giant, one that we might not have seen throughout that. But what it looked like to me, it was the weirdest thing. What it looked like to me was literally a snowball effect of dead rolling. Like, if you ever watched, what am I thinking of here?
World War Z.
Like like a World War Z kind of moment where the dead are coming in, but they're kind of rolling and climbing over each other. It looked like that type of a wall standing there. When he looked up, it looked like it was just a big wall of the dead standing there. That's what it looked like to me. Maybe it was a giant, but to me, it looked like just a big ball of dead, and then they just rolled over him. Yeah, that's the only thing I got. I really think just a big wall of the dead.
It would be helpful if we weren't watching the whole episode in the Silent Hill universe.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation Silent Hill universe. And we figured out that that's why the whole episode was like this. Yeah, it was, like I said, me and Pete talking earlier, that felt like it was a 90s video game where everything was like fogged at a distance. That's how they used to do it, because your little old PlayStation 1 couldn't render images like far away that you could like run and interact with. So they fogged out everything to save like processing power. And they did that same thing to save CGI costs in this episode. I'm 100% sure. That's why it was at night. And that's why it was so foggy and stuff, is so they could save money on CGI. And that was kind of annoying. That you couldn't see stuff like that. You couldn't see what they came up on. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was definitely the giant. It was like the giant's waistline, and like they just ran into the wall of the dead behind them. But that big thing that he saw was the giant.
It was like,
and it was the same giant that fucking Lyanna killed, because they only had one giant.
I mean, it could be, but yeah, I mean, it just looked weird. It looked like a wall with like teeth and like maybe horns, and it looked all kinds of weird. I don't even know. We got Peter Griffin out in the chat talking about it was weird how Melisandre came from the north. BBM, is she out there making deals with the Night King? What's going on with that?
It was interesting enough how she just came out of nowhere in the beginning. It's like not the undead saw her or anything. And it's just like, I'm just guessing it was just that dark. The army of the dead just didn't see her. But even then, you can say the same thing about when Beric and crew came. It's like they're literally in between and behind like the army of the dead, and like not no one like taking her down. So assuming taking them down. So it may be odd, but I don't know. Unless the Night King wanted her to go there. And just so even if you had like any type of reinforcements, it just didn't matter. Like, I don't know.
What do you think about that, Andy? Was she out there making deals with the dead?
Sorry, I missed that. What?
Was Melisandre, Peter Griffin was asking, it seemed like Melisandre came from the north, and we don't know. It was dark. It could have really been any direction. But say she did come from the north. Is there any way she's out there making deals with the dead?
Maybe. I didn't even think of that. But I did think it was weird, like, why is she coming from that direction? Why is she coming from the direction of the White Walkers? Because that is the same direction. Just a couple minutes later, they start running up. And you could see the battle plans. They only were guarding one side. So we already saw that last episode, their plan. So she definitely came from the direction of the White Walkers.
Right. I mean, I'm just thinking she could have been looping around coming maybe to get right to the front of them just to light those swords on fire. But who knows? I mean, yeah, they made it look like she came from the north. So that would be epic if all of a sudden we find some shit like that. And if you think about it, when the Night King kind of vanished and disappeared into dust and ice, Melisandre kind of went down in the same way. So that would be nuts.
Nah, she completed her duty.
What's up, Dragon? Is there any way, is the fact that Jon is a Targ and now that he's bonded with the dragon, does that lessen his bond or warging abilities with Ghost?
No, I don't think so. The whole direwolf Stark children thing it's as solid as a Targaryen and their dragon. I think he's able to bond with both of them easy. The whole issue with this whole situation is Dan and Dave are in love with doing the dragons, and most of the fandom is in love with the dragons. So, and it's more dragon than people like direwolves. So they're keeping the direwolves at a minimum. And the article I read literally right after episode 1, because I'm going more in the fuck is Ghost. They were saying that it costs them more because they actually have to get a real wolf or a mixed breed, put it in the shot, and then CGI over that to make it look bigger like a direwolf. It actually costs them more than that than to take a block of green screen. If you've ever seen them do the dragons, it's literally a big green blocks with wings, and that's how they do the dragon. It's cheaper for them to do dragons than it is direwolves. But I don't believe in the actual fiction of the world, the magic and lore. I do believe that his bond with Ghost is still just as strong as it was before Rhaegar.
Nice. I like that. Fandom, did you notice, like, when Melisandre first lit those swords on fire, Ghost kind of tucked his tail and winced a little bit. Like, I had to, like, pause and, like, focus in on that. Like, he almost looked, like, super scared of that fire. I know I'm just going to get crucified for this, but is Ghost going to get burned alive by the end of this show? Is that how Ghost goes out? Does he get burned? Oh, I know that's terrible.
What? Of all ways it goes to. I was going to say some type of freaking war thing or whatever, though. Like, Bran was working to Ghost, whatever, but no, I don't think Ghost is going to die that way, honestly. If anything, they should be, in my opinion, like the last time they should ever even use Ghost in this season. If they even use more Ghosts, I'll be afraid, because if anything, you might see like Ghost just on a table drinking some wine or something at this point. Like, it's just ridiculous. Every time we just see Ghost on screen.
Bro, I gotta say, we can't let that go without me saying something. This is why we call it Tinfoil Tuesdays, people. DJ sees that a dog is slightly scared of fire, and he immediately thinks, Ghost knows the future and knows that he's going to get burned to death, and that was some foreshadowing. Yo, if this comes to pass, I'm going to have to eat so much crow dipped in hot sauce with ghost peppers. Like, I'll eat a ghost pepper this time if Ghost gets burned alive, and that was the foreshadowing. I'll lose it.
Can I take this time just to pat myself on the back just a little bit? Just a little bit. Everybody calls me crazy. Everybody says he's nuts. You already know. But I just had a little video of mine in the last 24 hours go from 42 views to I think it was up like over 600 views in 24 hours, which is that doesn't happen with a lot of my videos like that. So to come up with 550 views, what could it be? Oh, did somebody already say that Arya is a Azor Ahai and was going to end the motherfucking Great Other? Wait, did somebody make a video about that already? Did somebody call it early? I'm just saying. Wait, did that happen? Did that happen? Let's talk about it.
I mean, if you throw enough shit out there, eventually some of it's going to stick. Like, she's also a White Walker to you and all kinds of crazy other shit. So you got to pick one. I give it to you. You got it right. But I mean, if you make a video about how everybody's going to kill the Night King, of course you're going to be right with one of them.
Come on now.
We got an
one
issue.
person killing the Night King. One, he made a video about it, and we got it. I stopped another video just to get that out because I had a feeling, and boom, the next week. Oh yeah, DJ, you're about the only person on the planet that called it. Nicely done. Thank you.
All right, here's the deal. I'll give you the killing of the Night's King by Arya, but not Azor Ahai, because Azor Ahai does not exist in the TV show. It has never been mentioned ever once in the TV show. A warrior will come forward and hold Lightbringer. That guy's dead. So if anybody was the attempt of Azor Ahai, that was Stannis Baratheon. Done. Dead. Arya got plot armor, and Dan and Dave were fan servicing the shit out of it, and Arya got the kill.
Like, you know, they actually really said that they just chose Arya because they didn't want to choose Jon again. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have any like connection to the book or any Azor Ahai prophecy in mind when they were just talking about who was going to kill the Night King. They basically said that they had it in mind for like 3 years that they were going to choose Arya to kill the Night King. And so it basically, they wanted to do it to subvert all of the book people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they really did that on purpose. They had her chosen, and that was what it was. That's what they wanted, Joe. That's all it was. They didn't have no idea what no Azor Ahai prophecy. They just threw those words in there, the Prince's Promise, just for us to get crazy about.
Yeah, about that, like, I saw some stuff. When I went in on Bridges' stream till I just dropped it. Like, I didn't stay around to see what you guys were gonna say. But he brought up, like, when did you know for sure in the episode when Arya was going to kill him? Like, when did you know that was going to happen? I didn't get to hear your responses to that.
I didn't know until he was right on top of it because I didn't think it was going to happen in this episode. I thought it would happen in the next episode. I did not think they were going to take him out in this episode.
Yeah. All right. BBM, what'd you say?
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to, like, you know, take him out either. I think we were saying this in how many streams where we didn't expect, like, the Night King to die here. They were going to extend it longer. And even within the last few minutes, when everyone seems about to even die, even, like, him walking up to Bran, I still didn't expect freaking Arya to come out of nowhere. Even though Melisandre said blue eyes, I'm just like, wait, what? Blue eyes? Is she going to, like, fail and get killed? Then she ends up killing the Night King.
What about you, JD?
I missed it. What are we talking about?
When did you know, at like what point in the show did you know that Arya was going to kill the Night King?
Blue eyes.
And that's what Pete said, right?
As soon as Melisandre said, what do we say to the god of death? Because she's like, you said a lot of things to me. You told me I kill a lot of people with brown eyes, green eyes, and she goes, and blue eyes. And what do we say to the god of death? Not today. And Arya jetted out the room. I'm like, she's going to kill the fucking Night's King.
Right then and include that because you have regular whites with damn blue eyes, and I think she's probably killed characters in the past with damn blue eyes.
She has. But at that point in time, who had the freaking bluest eyes out of everybody on the show? Dude? The freaking Night's King's eyes were literally bright, shiny blue stars in that whole episode. That was exactly as soon as she said it. I'm like, Arya's going to kill the Night's King right
Well, okay, JD, let me ask you this. What's that?
Oh, go ahead. I was going to ask Pete what his was.
I was going to say, but just to break it up, we'll get Pete. But JD, we got Bubba saying Melisandre saw Arya in a vision, and she knew that if she knew that the Night's King, or she was going to kill the Night King, then why continue to prop Stannis as the savior?
Well, let's put it this way. You had Dan and Dave at the end of the last episode say 3 years ago we realized that Arya was going to kill the Night's King. So that's the beginning production of season 7, right? But you can take that, and Dan and Dave worked it perfectly. If you go back to season 2, when she meets Melisandre and she goes, I see lots of death in your life. I see lots of green eyes, brown eyes, and blue eyes. And she directly says that to Arya when they see each other. And she turns around and she says the exact same thing to her when she meets her in Winterfell in this episode. So they tied that together, making that their actual, oh, this is how we did it. But no, they originally were going to have Jon kill the Night's King. Then they went, yeah, that's too cliche. and they killed it, X'd it, done. And that's why they had Arya do it.
They're lucky they had that line, because even when you look back at there, was season 2 or was it 3? I'm not sure. She says brown, blue, then green. So it's like oh shoot, let's like re-get it and just reword it.
Yeah, and that's really what I was about to say, is that because of that, is like that's how you knew in the episode that she was gonna kill the Night King, because she was like really emphasizing the blue eyes. She was like, yeah, you kill green eyes, brown eyes, and blue eyes, you know what I mean? And then like I think weren't they even in the same room that Serial Pharrell died in? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that the same room that they was in? I don't know. I was just trying
That was
to put
King's
that.
Landing. That's King's Landing. He died.
Oh yeah, that was no.
Yeah, and they were in the Great Hall, and they were in the
Okay,
Great
yeah, it
Hall.
was King's Landing. It was King's Landing. That's right. Yeah, but yeah, I was just trying to put that together. But yeah, you know, but that was where I knew in the episode. It was just obvious then. You know what I mean? I didn't know how she was gonna do it, and even after that happened, and he was running up on Bran, I thought Bran was still gonna do something. You know what I mean? Because he went away for so long, and then.
Well,
Yeah.
That kind of ruined the episode for me in a way. Like, that's probably why I got like spoiled on a lot of the end. That kind of irritated me because, you know, we're all looking at the show all analytically. I'm trying to figure out what's happening because of these streams with DJ, where DJ's talking about how important Beric is. That got me thinking that I knew that Arya was going to kill the Night King once Beric said, tell that to her. As soon as that happened, I knew that they were going to team up with Arya, and I was like, oh, and then he's going to save her. It's like that was his duty all along, is to protect her so she could do that. That's why he keeps getting brought back. And then as soon as the scene happened with Melisandre, I was like, God damn, I don't even need to watch the rest of the episode. Like, I could turn it off right now, and literally nothing would change. Like, I assume Theon's going to die, and then, you know, maybe some other people die. And I kind of got, like, irritated from that point where I was actually, like, less about this is kind of a weak episode to where I'm, like, truly irritated about the episode. And why? You don't have to be that freaking obvious, like, with the blue eyes. That was, ugh.
If there was one thing, and that's what I said about earlier about it, was if there's one thing I'd say bad about it, because I actually really like this episode. I mean, yeah, they should have killed more people, but it was a little predictable. It was a lot predictable in a lot of spots. Like, you knew that was Melisandre coming back. You knew Jorah wasn't going to die. But that was pretty cool how, you know, the Dothraki's flames, you know, their swords were all aflame and Jorah's wasn't. So you thought about that. You're like, okay, all the flames are out, but Jorah's flame wasn't a flame, so he's probably going to come back in the darkness. I mean, so you could see a lot of stuff, but I liked it. And speaking of that, was Jon Snow just worthless? Was he just worthless this episode, or was it just time to give somebody else some airtime?
He wasn't completely worthless. Like, the only worthless person in his entire episode was Davos. I didn't see, even, like, I watched this 3 times, and, like, the third time, I literally was able to, like, you know, brighten up the screen and stuff so I actually can see what the hell is happening. And Davos didn't do anything. That's the worthless person in this episode.
Whoa, hold on. Before you go any farther,
what did he do?
Davos has been in 2 major battles and never done anything, so you really expected something different.
Sam did something. Freaking Lyanna Mormont did something.
But
you
Davos
could have
is never
Davos. Dude, I don't care. This guy was getting ready to even go fight some freaking Men of the Night's Watch, and he couldn't do a thing. I'm sorry. He was worthless here. He should have been in the damn crypts, JD, at this point. That's all I have to say about the Jon Snow thing.
Big Pete, tell me, where does the Night King's army get all their blades from? It sure seems like they all had a lot of weapons. For none of them are being forgers or not having any smiths up there. Where'd they get? I mean, I know they pick up some from the Fallen, but not everybody that fell had a weapon. So how does every single white end up with a sword?
Yeah, I think they either made them some little, like how they was doing the dragon glass forging. The Night King was doing some little hand sword forging or something, you know what I mean? Getting a little puddle and turning it into a sword or something. But, you know, that is just, you know, him reaching for that sword, bro. That just reminds me when y'all just talking about Jon Snow. Where is my 1v1 Jon Snow and the Night King? I mean, where it, like JD said, a battle with the Night King, we could have had, I mean, I just seen Avengers, so we could have had like a team up battle where everybody tries to fight the Night King and he's just too nice. Like, you see how he did Theon. He didn't even stab Theon with the blade part of the spear. He stabbed Theon with the broken part that he just broke off. You know what I mean? So he's nice. He didn't get to showcase none of his sword skills. It would have been doper if the whole raising the dead thing, like we seen that before. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant, but I mean, like, we seen the raising the dead thing before, and it would have just been doper if they could have had like a little sword fight, and then maybe Jon gets the best of him, and then he raises the dead to get out of there. But like, it was just so unclimactic for everything that we had. Like, no come at me, bro, was ever justified at all, yo.
And was Jon just an idiot? When's he going to learn to quit just charging in? It's like he's always running in and getting himself into some shit he can't get himself out of and needing some people to back him up. What's up with that, JD?
All right. I agree 100% with that statement. The one time he actually tried to stick to the plan, Danny went, no, I got to go save my men, which I get it. I understand. The one thing I'll give Jon is every time Jon's charges in, it's getting completely compulsive, irrational, and stupid. Besides, I can understand trying to save your brother because I might have probably, I would have done the same stupid thing. When people got mad at Danny for doing it over her army, trying to save her army, and you have the most powerful weapon known to man at that point in time, I'm sorry, 90% of the people would have fucking jumped on that damn dragon and took off and went and burned a bunch of fucking dead people.
Anybody with a heart, hell yeah.
Dude, you had 500 soldiers charging and all of a sudden they're gone, dead. I'd be a little pissed off too and wanting to roast some people. So I don't knock Danny for any of that shit. But yeah, Jon definitely does run into on some stupid points. And I agree 100% with Pete. I wanted when Jon was running up behind the Night's King, I was like, finally, we're gonna get a fight. Even if Jon gets his ass fucking kicked and somebody comes up and stabs the Night's King in the back, we're gonna get a fight. No. We got the come at me, bro, raise the dead, and he turned around. Fuck that shit.
My only thing was he was walking over a lot of dead Unsullied, and we know that the Unsullied fight with spears, so he couldn't have stopped and thrown a couple spears at my man. And I mean, you're already that far away. You couldn't have like tried to throw a couple and get him. I mean, that'd be a lot faster than trying to run up on him, Andy. What's up with that? And wasn't Danny right to jump on her dragon and go save her people? Because what's the point of waiting to save Bran if all the people you love afterwards are already dead? What's the point of winning if everybody's gone?
The question is, what the fuck was the plan in the first place? Why do you need two dragons that you don't know if they're gonna work to come protect Bran in the end? That's a stupid ass plan. Or to come light the thing. There's not a better way to light that fire. Like, oh my! I was like, this is the stupidest plan ever. Like, usually, I was like, Danny. To be fair, I was agreeing with JD because this was the only time that Jon stuck to the damn plan, and he got wrapped up in getting out of the plan. So I'm cool with that. Whatever. That was the right move on Danny's part. Someone should have said immediately, like, hey, we should just have these things roasting them anyway. Like, if we could get one person to shoot the Night King with an arrow, that would be cool. But what are we gonna do about like the millions of little zombies he has going? Maybe we should take care of them. That seems like the immediate threat. We'll leave the Night King to Bran. Like, I would be like, Bran, you're gonna have to do something other than like rolling the eyes back in the back of your head. But you're right. Like, Jon could have probably picked up a spear, but we already know like he's not gonna hit the Night King with that. Night King already knows about it. He'd probably catch it and throw it back at him. That's probably something Jon thought about too. He's like, man, I seen him fucking javelin a dragon from a quarter mile away and 200 feet in the air. I ain't gonna stand a chance here. Dude could throw a rock through your head. I wouldn't be fucking with that either. I want to get him in a sword fight.
BBM, I like how the Night King actually used the other White Walkers as bait to kind of make Jon deviate from the plan and kind of go after them. Then kind of like the same way they were using Bran to use bait as to bring the Night King in. Was the Night King just an all-around better battle commander, BBM?
Of course he was, damn it. The moment when the dragons came in, immediately there was that snowstorm, which pretty much blinded them. I was like, oh shit, it's actually pretty good. Even when they had, plenty like the fire, you pretty much just allow themselves to pretty much just pile each other up so they can pretty much go through. The dude was smart. Even though again, I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't even get to see, Night King fight John, and even the I don't know how many of those White Walkers were there, like 12, 11, who knows? Some people even said they counted like 20. I'm like, what? So I don't know, maybe I can't count anymore. But just seeing like how it's kind of smart that he didn't want them to go out there because he knows that they have Valerian Steel, and every time when he sees anyone with Valerian Steel fight those guys, they pretty much get low diff at this point. So it's like it's kind of smart that he just didn't use them, because if so, they all would have been killed.
Absolutely. And there was 12. I mean, I stopped and paused it on HD in a few different ways, and there was 12. Is that any significance, Pete, that there was 12 White Walkers there? And what'd you think about that? I mean, I thought that was genius the way he brought the cold in and actually used it's like, dude, this man, because that's my whole point is why doesn't he just drop the degrees to -40, freeze everybody, and just have his boys go through and just stab them when they're too cold to move? I mean, it'd be end of story, game over. Why not just do that, Pete?
I mean, only for dramatic effect and CGI cost and shit. That's the only reason why. But I mean, like, yo, he is he's basically proven that he's a better battle commander than John with his tactics. And that the show proves that means nothing because we don't get to know nothing about him. You know what I mean? But like, they gave him props and then take it away. And, he basically outmaneuvered everybody on the field with the storm. And then he went after Danny, making her a victim. So then now John can't double team him. He's got to save Danny. You know what I mean? And then, to me, they really just could have just cleaned it up with him and the sword work. I just, just like what we say, man. The thing with them and the dragon and the whole war, he won the war, yo. He just demolished their whole plan and basically just fell for the last trap. You know what I mean? And
he was winning every battle but lost the war.
Basically, that's basically what it was, because he won just like everybody else in Game of Thrones, I guess. Like he won damn near every part of it, but just lost it in the end. You know what I mean?
People on the panel and in the chat, I need to know how many people, when Arya handed Sansa that dagger, how many just said the words right along with them, stick her with the pointy end. Sansa's like, I don't know how to use it. I was like, you already knew word for word what was coming. That was so clean. That was a great part. What'd you think about that, Anthony? Were you talking with them?
Yeah, I got yelled at by my wife right there. I was like, stick him with the pointy end. And she's like, why do you do that? So yeah, I said it right along with her.
Oh, we got the imagination realm saying so Viserion was a white, not a White Walker dragon. What do you think about that, fandom? Was Viserion a white dragon or a White Walker dragon?
It was a white dragon, because when we see what Craster's kids that turned into White Walkers, they were still alive. And we see dead people die, and he just either raises hands or freaking just touches them. Boom, they're whites. You have to die first to become a white, so it has to be a white dragon.
Disagree. What's that, DJ?
I don't.
He did go up and touch him,
Actually,
but I like that.
no.
Tell him, JD.
No. If you watch, okay, when the Night King gets stabbed and he busts into 1,000 pieces of ice, all the walkers that were standing behind him, all his children, poof, shattered into 1,000 pieces of ice along with him. The dead fell over. The dragon fell over. He did not bust into 1,000 pieces. So he is actually broke is completely 100% right.
I like that. You with him, Pete? You like that? He's a white, not a White Walker? Or he's a White Walker, not a white?
Yeah, he's not a White Walker like his generals, because when he died in the dragon fight and he raised the dead, he came back. And he came back to protect them at the Godswood. That's why I say it. So I want to hear why you disagree.
All right. So here's why I disagree. One, because I want to hear DJ go on an explanation about how Craster's part Targaryen, right? And then that's, why that's important to the bloodline. But two, how is it spitting fire? And if it gets touched by fire, then it's going to die. Like, that's a terrible... If you're going to have like a weapon that dies by fire, it probably shouldn't get in a fight with a dragon, right? That you wouldn't want a head-on battle if you know that, like, fire can... Even if you say, okay, the blue fire is different. It can deal with the blue fire. That's not going to instantly kill it. But we know you can... Like, whites are flammable. Like, we've seen that. They're flammable. It's not just like they can be burned. It's like they catch on fire if you touch them with fire. So if the Night King's such a badass battle commander, then he's going to know, like, hey, I can't fight a dragon with this dragon because it catches on fire and it's going to die and then I'm going to fall 100 feet.
Yeah, why weren't those dragons blowing more fire? Like, they were biting and scratching and clawing, but exactly, it's like, if they can, but then again, maybe it wasn't, and maybe a dragon fire wouldn't have killed the dragon. Maybe it is. Maybe he is a White Walker because he did get touched, just like he touches the babies, and maybe that is a White Walker dragon, and fire wouldn't kill him.
Now, let's hear the Targaryen part that I was setting up for you. No,
but he has to be a Targaryen because, one, he's riding dragons, and two, he can walk through fire, and the fire does not harm a dragon. So the Night King has to be a Targaryen, doesn't he, Fandom?
That's what I was.
Nope. Stop it. Just stop it now. Just stop it now. Apparently, the only way to stop this dude is a Valyrian steel. That's the only thing that they're pretty much banking on. Is Valyrian steel when it came to the Night's King. Because even then, he brought back the dragon with his own power. That's how he's able to damn ride the dragon. Not because he's a damn Targaryen.
Well, speaking of Baratheons, was the weapon that Gendry was using, was that like a warhammer like his father's? And was it made of dragon glass, or was it just his warhammer like he had with Tyrion down in King's Landing? Which one was that, Fandom?
What was the question? Literally, I was in the live chat. My bad.
That's all good. When Gendry was fighting out there against the dead, did he have a dragon glass warhammer, or was that like the warhammer he had with Tyrion down in King's Landing? Was it a warhammer like Robert's? Like, did you notice that?
I have no idea. It looks like the same shape as the one they had down at King's Landing, so I'm guessing it could be the same. Like, I don't know at this point, really. Maybe he did create a new one.
Did you notice that, Pete? Did you see what Gendry was fighting with out there?
Yeah, it was the hammer, but I didn't know if it had dragon glass on it. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, why would he have the same one as King's Landing? I mean, I get the shape and used to fighting and the weight of something like that, but if he's out there fighting the whites and he's making all these dragon glass weapons for everybody, JD, why wouldn't he make himself?
If you look at this scene when they retreat and he takes off running, his hammer's only about, I can't get it in the picture. It's only about 2 foot long. It's more like a hatchet. And you can see the dragon glass etching on the edge of it. You know all those dragon glass hatchets that he was making? That's what he was carrying. I don't think he might have been carrying the hammer in the beginning and lost it, but when he retreated, he had one of those dragon glass hatchets in his hand.
Oh, when they were climbing up the wall, he definitely smashed one with a hammer, like on the head, and knocked it down. Like he, bang. So I was thinking, like, you know, maybe it's a dragon glass hammer. That's what I was thinking at first. Or like maybe he imbued it with dragon glass. But then I thought, well, if you could crush one, then what's it gonna do? Send all its little bone parts at you? So
yeah,
that's
I guess one was doing that. One was just stomping them and crushing them. So that makes sense.
So I'm not sure, but yeah, definitely.
Technically, they are just. I mean, we watched the whole scene in the freaking library with Arya, and they literally are just zombies. There's nothing else to them. They're just zombies.
Yeah, I thought I was watching Snake on Metal Gear Solid on that. That was kind of crazy. What's up, Big Pete? Who was the MVP of this show? Was it Jorah or Theon? Who gave it up the best?
It was fire for the lighting of the episode. Every time there was some fire in the scene was the MVP of the episode. But between Jorah and I think Theon, man, Theon had such a high body count around him. Like, I mean, he was doing work, bro. Like Jorah got killed like how he lived his life. He was just a fucking sword bag. Like he just kept getting stabbed and just kept getting up. He's like, And it was one time, I can't remember what part, but it was one time she saw him about to get stabbed and she didn't even do nothing. And she was just like, damn. She was like, damn, he got to be done after this one. And he like put the sword up like this and got up again and fought him off and then just got stabbed up again. But I think Theon went out better than Jorah did. George just went out like Sir Friend Zone, man. Like,
yeah, but I mean, if it's your best friend, even if you are serve friend zone for fucking life, and the only thing that you got is her and your sword, I will give one thing. Yes, Theon charged the bad guy. He charged the Night's King, and he did have a nice body count there sitting and laying around him. But also all his men were dead laying around him. The one thing I'll give Jorah, and you said it perfectly, he kept getting stabbed. He kept standing up, and he didn't die till everything was dead. That was, a Lord of the Rings Boromir moment from fucking hell.
Absolutely. And before we get moving on, I just saw something in the chat. We got Phoenix Rising 357. Again, I'm going to say that Bran isn't as useless as everyone thinks. He got into there at the tree with the Night King. He needed to be there. And again, I'll mention that Tyrion talked to Bran, and it's funny. I'm sure that goes on somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, Bran gave Arya that dagger knowing exactly what was going to happen and what needed to happen. He went straight Doctor Strange on it and put everybody in the right place at the right time to make shit go down. So I think there's no way. I mean, can we call Bran useless at all?
That's the only way I can say. Like, if he can see the future, then he wasn't useless. Maybe he's still endgame. Well, not endgame, but the Battle of Winterfell endgame. He's like, you know what? I can't say or do anything. And I believe Phoenix was saying earlier with the whole Bran and Tyrion thing, it's possible that when Tyrion was talking to Bran, he was like, yo, you think we can like survive this? Oh, and he pretty much tells him everything. And maybe that's why he was drinking in the beginning of the episode and stuff. He's like, wow, we're actually gonna survive this? How are we gonna survive this? And he's hearing like screams and stuff earlier. So if that happened that way, okay. But if Bran could not see the future, then he probably was still useless regardless. If he was just destined to be there just for bait, it's like he could have done something maybe. I don't know. Like he could have sent for like Nymeria or whatever. Maybe it could have been that way because DJ has been saying for weeks that he could communicate with animals. And if you send those horses, he send the damn dire wolf, he possibly could have sent Nymeria's pack to help a bit out, If not,
it seemed like it didn't need to. It seemed like it worked out. It seemed like it worked out just like it was supposed to. What do you think about that, Andy? Do you think is it Sam's fault that Dolores Ed died?
Oh, 100%. Like I said before, Sam, whoever's next to Sam and tries to help him is gonna die. Like I feel bad for anybody who gets stuck next to Sam. Remember that for anybody that read the books, there was that big ass dude that carried him forever. Like when he couldn't walk, like this big ass guy carries fat ass Sam on his back, and then he gets a little tired, and what happens?
Yeah.
Like dude pops out of the wood and kills him because he got tired from carrying Sam's fat ass. Like, yeah, I feel bad. Sam had a great strategy at the end. Like you lay on a pile of dead bodies, one comes to attack you, stab it, and then roll on top of that one, and then another one comes and stab it. Good strategy there. I want to go back. The real MVP is Barricade Dondarrion. Although Theon did have that big body count, I just wanted to say something on that. And the Night King's kind of lucky that Theon didn't have one arrow left.
Right, exactly. He's like he waited though because the Night King's not an idiot. He's a good strategy, and he waited for Theon to run out of arrows. We got Sam Florita, and it says, "What was the point of all the books Sam got other than Jon being a Targaryen?" I mean, he reiterated the fact about all the dragon glass and being able to get up that to be able to fight the Whites. But you got anything else, fandom? What was the big thing about that?
Big thing about having dragon glass?
No, about Sam. What was the big thing about Sam in the books? Them making a big thing about Sam having the books. And I mean, that is a pretty big thing to be telling people about Jon being a Targaryen. I mean, that's big enough in itself. But what was the point of all the books Sam got other than Jon being a Targaryen to you?
that is another point. When D&D was deciding, oh yeah, Arya should be the one to kill the Night's King, then it's like I think what kind of was like the whole point of like Bran knowing specifically that Jon is like, an heir to the Iron Throne. Maybe in the next few episodes, Bran's gonna be like still working, telling us certain stuff. Maybe that's the other half of it. Maybe the Long Night isn't truly just, the Night King. Maybe it's also making sure he gets on the Iron Throne. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna guess for.
Yeah. Pete, how many feels were you getting when you heard Grey Worm screaming out, "Protect the retreat! Protect the retreat!" I mean, is anybody else's floor? I mean, everybody's got to just be like mind-boggled that my man is even still alive. I mean, what do you think about that, Pete?
Yeah, I definitely had him guaranteed to die. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like on the list of like, oh yeah, last episode he got a happy ending. He's gonna go to Butterfly Land with Missandei after all of this. He's making plans for the future. He's dead. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess they're just gonna let him die in Nath. You know what I'm saying? Some butterfly sickness or something. In the end, let it be tragic like that. Everybody gets their happy ending, but it's really fucked up. I guess that could be the bittersweet ending.
The Boy Wonder says, while Grey Worm stood back and watched everyone die like a bitch. No, my man was out there.
That's kind of how I felt.
No. Yeah, listen, I'll give Grey Worm his props. He fought really hard in the beginning of this battle. And then he fucking sounded the retreat, got behind his men. And, dude, you could have went, all right, guys, move. And had his freaking army haul ass in the gates and then collapse the fucking moat. And instead, he collapsed the moat and sacrificed 3,000 of freaking his own men. That shit pissed me. I was actually extremely pissed off and voting for him to fucking die at that point in time. Like, I wanted his head done. I wanted him dead.
You think he did that to sacrifice him, or was that not part of the plan?
No, that wasn't part of the plan. But I think that's one of the better written parts of this episode, right? Because the whole time I was thinking, you could see he was kind of scared. And I thought that was brilliant. Like, the Unsullied aren't scared. But now he has a reason to be scared. He's not like a fearless warrior anymore. Like, he loves Missandei. Like, he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to die anymore. But when before he didn't care. Like, that's not something he thought about. That's why he was one of the first people to come back. And he even looked like panicked and shit and scared when he came back. And I thought, oh, that is one of the better written things in this episode, is like how he would be scared now because he has something to lose.
Hold up. I thought he went back because he was wondering why on earth the fire wasn't lit already. And I thought that's why he looked at Miss Melisandre, and that's when she went out.
That's what I'm saying. He was back there saying, light the fire, and shout out to House Stark and Winterfell. We're about to pop it up. We got to get that House Stark, Dalwhinnie. But yeah, I thought he was doing what he's supposed to do. They showed him earlier. That was his plan, to run back there, pull that. I mean, I don't know how many tens of thousands or thousands of Dothraki were going to run over that particular little bridge. I think that was just part of the plan. I don't understand why they didn't have a fire moat out in front of them in the first place. Why are they out in front of a fire moat?
Dude, there was a lot of things when you see the episode before they're panning it out. I was more listening to the conversation than the battle strategy. So I went back and watched the episodes back to back, and I went, wow, I didn't catch that the first time. That's horrible strategy, because that's how they have it lined out. Fire, Unsullied, Trebuchets, Dothraki. And I'm like, why isn't there a fire line in front of the Trebuchets? And why are the Unsullied, like, it just, that whole planning made no sense at all to me, the way they had everything set up. And they only fired the Trebuchets once. Like, they fired them, stopped. Like, after the lights went out, I'd have been like, fire them again. Like, I'd have been commanding them to fire again, fire again, fire again. Get as much as you can get going. They fired them the one time on their Dothraki charge. That was the end of the Trebuchets.
That's what I'm saying. They light it up, like, to make it daylight out here. And on the other point, you have one of the biggest, most fortified freaking castles in the north. It's a castle. What the hell are you even doing outside the walls? Like, sit there, get them trenches of fire going, and then have every inch of the top of the castle lined with men and arrows and light them up. It's like, and then have tar ready to pour down on them. And I just don't even understand what they were doing outside those walls, BBM. What was that all about?
I think someone said this in a kind of, I don't know. Like, they had the Dothraki, you have freaking the Unsullied, the Northerners in there. It's like, could you even fit everyone there? Do some have to be outside?
Yeah, they couldn't fit everybody inside the castle. That was the thing. Like they couldn't fit them all in there. That's why they did the 10 outside. But the Dothraki, all they can do is charge. You know what I mean? But like they didn't even have an idea of what they were charging at. Like, you know, I think that's what JD was saying. Like, just shoot the catapults first. Like, see what you're working with. Then you know, after you shoot the catapults, that there's like a 20-foot tsunami of fucking dead people there.
Yeah, then you can do something.
Yeah, like just don't. You know what? Also, I was thinking too, man. Not even just to be on no funny shit, but like, you know, when she lit up them swords, man. Like I had the subtitles on, and that shit said Dothraki ululating. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they probably just got so crunk. They were just like, man, fuck this shit. We got flaming swords, man.
Yeah, we're bouncing. They got so hyped they couldn't even handle it. Like,
somebody just went, and then somebody else, 2 people followed him, and then it just ended up being like a nice little triangle shit. And then they was like, wait a minute. That's why Jorah wasn't up front, because he was like, wait, I didn't tell y'all to go nowhere. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Jorah was smart. He saw them rioting, and he started pulling up like, yeah, y'all go get him. Y'all go get him.
I don't know.
Stupid.
I don't know if anybody else was on this shit, but like when he first came back, like I thought he was like dead. I thought he was like already turned. Like I thought when he came back, when he was looking the way he was looking, like to me, when I first saw him, and because of how fucking dark it was, I was like, yo, is he already a zombie? And like everybody coming back is already turned, you know what I mean? But then like when he came back saving everybody, I realized it then. But yo, that tripped me out.
Mother Krakens has something in the chat, which is what I was gonna say. Like what I was thinking, the Dothraki had just regular swords, like their Arax and shit. Like you were just sending them out there to be sacrificed. Like they're not gonna kill anything. You're just making the other army better. You're gonna give them horses and shit. That's why I felt the same way as Pete. Like where I thought everybody though that came back was already turned. I was like, oh shit, they already turned them off. Because that was stupid. I didn't get it. Like good, like she said, good thing Melisandre came and lit up all those swords, because I don't know what the plan was before, except like maybe they had some brilliant strategy. Like let's give them all these super badass horse riding people to fight against our Unsullied. Like something crazy is gonna happen there. We got this secret plan.
Yeah, it was a good thing that Mill showed up for that. And then we also got the imagination realm saying that Grey Worm was over there and he was getting the Unsullied to cover Mel to come out there and light that trench on fire. So I mean, he did have some over there. I don't think he was. I don't think that was. I don't know. I just didn't get that scene that he was sacrificing his own men. But I could definitely see like where you'd get
it.
Dude,
when if you go back and watch it, he's standing at the bridge and he's looking, and there's rows of Unsullied standing there, and he goes. And he pulls it and runs inside. And then he tells him to light the moat. He pulls that bridge, though, and you can see the Unsullied and the dead wave coming, but there's lines of Unsullied standing there.
I think, I mean, obviously they had to do certain things for the show just to work out, cinematography.
And the whole battle strategy, the Night's King did have a one-upper the whole time. I mean, that whole fog snowstorm, that was just fucking brilliant. And the best strategy of all is like, yeah, you can kill my army. I got a new one.
Nice. Hey, Andy, Theon was the last one other than Jaime and Bran to know what really happened. So in the last episode, when we saw Sansa and Theon spending all that time together, did we think that Theon told her about Jaime pushing Bran out the window? And if so, what's going to happen with that situation?
I don't think. Well, I think they're going to trust Jaime. Like I think Bran has to vouch for Jaime, right? Like he believes that that's how things have to be. So unless Bran dies, like maybe it adds more drama. Because there has to be a whole bunch more political drama with 3 episodes left. So there's definitely going to be some bickering like in the first episode and shit. Like that kind of I don't like you shit and the beginning of the second episode. That kind of thing. Maybe it has to do with Jaime. But then it still got me wondering, like, is Jaime just going to get killed by Bronn? Because if Bran knew everything that was going to happen, because it's basically confirmed that he can see the future, why did he say that to Jaime? Why did he say, like, yeah, if we make it? Right? Everybody was already saying that they were all going to die in this war, so they were already prepared for it. But Bran made a point to say, like, hey, why are you assuming we're going to live?
Well, he's just saying, he's like, how do you know? Maybe that's him saying that he can't see the future. He's saying, how do you know there is an after? Maybe that was the conclusion, that no, Bran can't actually see the future. He can only see the past and the present. What do you think about that, Phantom?
No, I'm hoping that he can freaking see the future. But if anything, that's just like, do you think so? Do you really think that we're actually going to win this? Because I guess he wasn't completely 100% on Jaime, but so he just pretty much just tried to scare him off or something.
Well, my thing is if he could see the future, then he would have seen that Dany tried to burn the Night King and that it didn't work. And he said specifically that we don't know. Nobody's ever tried. So he obviously.
If you tell her or anyone there would say, "Oh, the fire won't work," then they would not have done that whole plan of putting him as bait at all. Or not even that though. They probably wouldn't. They wouldn't have done it.
You already said though, like the stuff about Doctor Strange. To be fair, I haven't seen Endgame, but we all know, like
exactly. Like if you would have told them the fire wouldn't work, then they never would have went after Night King in the beginning, and that would have been a whole different situation. That would not be up to that moment for Arya to stab him.
Then Bran would have just got roasted by, what's it called, Viserion. It would just got roasted because then there's nobody to go attack that because they know that fire's not going to work. They would have picked up a different plan. Bran had to make them think that they had a chance against the Night King so that they would actually go up against him and get rid of the dragon, or at least like knock it out of the sky, which in that scene, I had no idea which dragon was getting bit. I had no idea what was going on. So one of them, and I thought it was like Jon's dragon that was like biting the other one, but then Jon's dragon just falls out of the air. I'm like, is that thing dead? Like, did he just bail? I have what is going on?
And then what about the drunk driving of Dany? Like, you couldn't tell if that was a Night King smashing into him or Dany smashing in. Like, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all around crazy. But come on, when you saw those dragons get up a bunch above the cloud, JD, I mean, you had to appreciate that scene. That was beautiful.
Like there's a reason I gave this episode a 7 out of 10, and it wasn't the storyline. It was the action of the show, and the cinematics of this freaking episode were beautiful. Like I told you earlier, the Dothraki arrow flying into the dead was gorgeous. The dragons up above the clouds when they both come up like this was gorgeous. When the Night King comes straight up beneath them and you see the blue cloud of freaking fire starting to come, that was gorgeous. There's a reason I gave it 7 out of 10, and it was all cinematics and action. The actual storyline part of it, there's so many plot holes.
So is anybody with it? Nobody thinks that since Theon being the last one that actually knows what happened with Jaime and Bronn, nobody thinks that when Theon and Sansa were out there talking all night that he dropped that little tidbit? That seems like a pretty big one to be holding back on. It's pretty much like, no, they're just going to let that one go.
I mean, it might play a part. Like I said, it could come into play, and Sansa probably does know about it by now. I think you're right with that. Like, she probably does. She would have to. Theon would have to tell her. And if not, Jaime might tell him himself. But who knows?
Pete, how sick was that? The fact that Theon was even part of that council, that Caitlyn brought him out there and told him this huge thing, but then like how much she hated Jon Snow, which basically she treated the ward of Winterfell like more of a brother to Robb than his actual brother Jon. How screwed up was that, Pete?
I mean, that's just Kat going through her own issues. You know what I mean? Like, she could have easily accepted Jon. Like she said, even in the show, she said that. Like, she just couldn't allow it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just her own senses that wouldn't let that be okay. You know what I mean? And for her to even like when Bran was almost dead and she looking at him like, what are you even doing here? Like, I care about my brother, yo. Like, that should be simple for you to understand. But she was just extra with Jon, and I think she knew it, yo. And she didn't have to be extra at all.
Fuck them tellies, except for Blackfish.
What do you think about that, LBBM? You don't think Theon didn't drop that tidbit, or it's not going to matter? Your Lannisters are all safe.
Pretty much, my Lancers are safe thanks to D&D. If everyone expects Cersei to die, they're not going to do that and shock us all, just like with the whole Arya and the Night King. This episode confirms that Cersei will live. Quote me.
Well, speaking of live, since we're talking to our famous Lannister lover, is Bronn going to take the money and try to kill the brothers, or is he going to let them know what the sister is all about and see what's what, or is he just going to wait in the background and see who wins this war? What do you think about that, BBM? I'm going to go down the line with this one.
So I'm still on the fence with this. I don't know if Bronn's going to do it or not, because even when he's saying that both dragons are still there, but at the same time, like the army, has lessened like a lot dramatically from this whole battle. So it's like, I don't know if Bronn's gonna actually, try to attempt it and fail, and Jaime like, let me go kill Cersei and fail there too. Or he's gonna try to kill him. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm still on the fence. I don't even know what Bronn is gonna do. Because it's still like ways when Tyrion asks him, like, if you kill a baby, what would you do? He says, well, how much are you gonna pay me to do it? So it's like, does he have a price for it? Does he have a price? Who knows?
It's not a castle, bro. That's his price. It's not a castle, yo.
He took his castle away, and he still fight for the damn Lannisters.
Yeah,
man.
but you know what I'm saying? Like that's what he's fighting for, a better castle, because that's what he was promised, yo. And until he gets what he's promised from Jaime, he ain't gonna let nobody kill Jaime until he get what he get.
I like that.
He's not gonna kill them. There's no reason you should be on the fence with this one, bro. Like, he's not gonna kill them and live the rest of his life with Cersei. Like, come on, bro. Like, he can die the next week after he kills them, just like she said. I've killed men for lesser things, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he has no chance with her. He has every chance with helping the other side. And I know he's gonna turn, yo. He's gonna turn.
I'm getting ready to make a video, so I'm keeping a little quiet on this one. But what's the Dragon's point of view on all this?
If Bronn's going to turn, or if he's going to shoot Jaime and Tyrion, if he thinks he can get away with the gold and rid himself of one major major thorn in his side, he's always been friends with Tyrion. Even before they were actually sellswords, he was a friend of Tyrion's. I mean, he always had Tyrion's back. Even after he quit paying him, he had Tyrion's back. Jaime went after him. All Jaime ever promised him was a castle. So yeah, he's wanting that castle. But if he can get that wagon cart full of fucking gold and get rid of a fucking thorn in his side, why not turn on her? But he could literally take the gold and kill Jaime. See, that's the problem. It's Bronn. Bronn likes money. He doesn't do shit for free. So he could he might take a shot at him, and maybe he gets captured. Who knows?
What's your take on this, Andy?
Bronn is not really concerned with the short gain, though. Like, you got to think about that. Like, one, I said that I agree with Pete. Like, he wants a castle. The gold's not the issue. But even if the gold was enough to do this, if they are aligned with the other side, he has to pick which side he thinks is gonna win. The other side has 2 damn dragons. Like, he probably knows that side's gonna win, so that is a safer bet. They're gonna he wants the castle. That's where it's promised, and this is foreshadowed last season, where in the Field of Fire, right? He drops his bag of gold. He goes like he's gonna go for it, and then he's like, "Fuck that, not worth it." Like, I'm going to lose if I go towards this gold. Like, I got to, try to stay alive. The gold doesn't help me if I die. So I think that's what's going to happen. Like, he can't fight for Cersei because he probably thinks she's going to lose. And that's not a smart bet.
That makes a lot of sense. We got our girl Nixie out there in the chat, and she's asking, if the first Night King was killed, how was there another? And that brings me to a big question, BBM, and what was going on. Is there another Night's King? Because we all know that this one went out way too easy. So is there more to that story? Is there another Night's King? And doesn't there almost have to be if he's been defeated before and this is like a circle that keeps happening?
There's no more Night King. That's it. It's done. First 3 episodes kill the Night King. Next 3 episodes, back to politics, cutthroats, betrayal. End it with damn Cersei. And Cersei episode 5 or so, who knows? Maybe Dany's a true villain near the end. But there's no more Night's King. That's it.
I don't know. I don't know. What about you, JD? Do you think there's another Night's King, or is there more to come with the winner?
In the show? No. They did their interview. We invented the Night's King. So you're telling me what George R. R. Martin said in an interview a few years ago when you guys introduced the Night's King, when he said, yeah, the Night's King about as live as Bran the Builder or Lan the Clever. So in the show, there's only been one. There only will ever be one, and he's dead. It'll never happen again. As far as the books, that's about the books, and we ain't talking about that tonight.
All right. Well, me and Andy, or I believe he was on my side on that one, that this is all around, coming around, and this has happened before. And what do you know about it, Andy?
For sure. Like, there's going to be another one. Because we talked about, they were reading books that were 2,000 years old about the previous Night King, right? So that's 2 cycles before. It's not even the one that, like, Azor Ahai and them would have went up against. It's the one before that, if they had books to reference from that point. So this is like a cyclical thing. And
but here's the thing, Andy. They made a deal with the Night's King. They never killed the Night's King.
we don't know that.
Didn't the wildling, I forgot her name, say that they were just sleeping?
Yeah, they're sleeping.
It
That's
wasn't
what
just
she
a
said.
new one. The Night King just slept. That's all.
Yeah, but
He woke up, he shaved his beard. There you go.
The big thing is, like, he had a beard. They don't have, like, what, they ice razor in themselves? Like, that's stupid. Like, I gotta look.
You didn't pay attention, did you? As those whites were walking in when they were surrounding Bran, dude. 2 of them had beards. Another one was clean shaved. Dude, they have razors.
Hey, they might have ice razors, but what I'm saying is there has been long nights before, and they've battled it, and they've ended it. So if they've ended it before, that means they've killed the great other of that time. That means there must be multiple Night Kings.
You missed what Bran said. The Night's King has tried with many 3-eyed ravens to kill us.
3-eyed ravens, though, that's not other Night Kings.
He has never died. He is one and only. When we saw the Children of the Forest change the Night's King, that is the only Night's King that's ever existed in the show, story, history, lore, everything. One Night's King.
I like that answer.
I don't believe it. I think there's another one, because just by how the age of the books, we got prophecies about Azor Ahai and shit, flaming swords and stuff. Yeah, was a flaming sword like a? I don't know. That's a thing you use to make a deal. Like that's something
you got to come up, and you can also say that we don't know that that's an original idea by the Children of the Forest. They may have came up with that idea from the Night King because they knew old ancient books and that's been done before. So that's where they got the spells to make this, because their predecessors had done it. What's up, Pete? You buying any of this?
I'm kind of feeling the one Night King thing. I mean, it doesn't make sense according to the books, but you know, like, the show is doing the show, man. You know what I mean? And, like, they're just proving it more and more, especially the way that they're ending this shit, that, like, everybody will be able to live true to that saying that, hey, it's better in the books. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're just doing their own thing with the show. And I'm glad that, like, I've chosen to not, like, dip into the books until the show is over, because I just want to appreciate the show for what it is without having the books to, like, not to say, like, taint my view, but, like, it just makes me expect things that maybe the show won't ever deliver. You know what I mean? And it's just like, because the show is only doing what the show wants to do. And only because when you see those inside the episodes, that's what they say. They just like, yeah, we decided. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're after the the 5th season, and they didn't have no more books to go off of. They're just doing them thing. They don't do their own thing, man.
Yeah. So, JD, we got Bubba Husky in the chat saying, then why does the Night King go to sleep?
We never got that answer. We never will unless they show it in the prequels. Ever. That will never be a question and answer unless they do that in the prequels. And in the actual long night prequel, if they do that story, we'll get the reason he went to sleep. I'm telling you right now, and this is as far as the stories and lore that we've heard in the books. Azor Ahai, the last hero, whatever, went out, made a deal with the others, ended the Battle of the Long Night. They never killed the Night's King. Even in the books, they didn't kill him. They made a deal with the Night's King. That was that. That was the end of it. So Dan and Dave took that, continued with one Night's King, brought him back when they awoke, and that's all there is to it. It's just one Night's King as far as the show's concerned. And I'm sticking by when it comes to the books. There is no actual Night's King. There might be a king of the others, but it's not the Night's King.
Right on. Fandom, my girl was wondering, can you answer? The Giant Tamer wants to know, will Arya Stark be knighted?
Could be. She could be knighted. Like if they actually, allow her to even like tell her story that she killed the Night's King.
If who allows her to tell the story?
Bran at this point. What if she could just make up a lie and say it was Theon who did it and it wasn't her?
Why would they do that?
Why would she do that? I don't know. Maybe she just want the glory of it.
Huh. What do you think about that, Pete?
What was the question?
Well, my question is, do you think Arya Stark will ever end up being knighted? Because, I mean, we know that's kind of like she was in a Brienne situation when she was younger. When she sat on those steps in King's Landing with Ned, and he's like, you'll raise little lords and have little princes. And she's like, no, that's not for me. Like, she's always wanted to be a warrior. We know that she's trained and been brought up that way. Does Arya Stark get knighted?
I think maybe she could get knighted. I don't think she would want to get knighted. I think she would want to just live in the shadows. You know what I mean? Just lurking as being something faceless. I don't think she wants to get knighted. They would probably want to bestow a knighthood on her for what she did because that's just their custom. But I don't think that, she would basically accept knighthood because she doesn't fight like a knight. She's a sneaky assassin. She doesn't, even like when she was fighting Brienne, that same move that she used on the Night King worked because Brienne was using regular battle tactics. You know what I mean? So.
Well, and there's the fact that, I mean, it's more of a thing in the books than the show, but we know the North doesn't have knights, so to speak. Like the only way, like when you're allowed to go play in tournaments that you have to be a knight in, it's because you're from a noble house that people know of. But the North doesn't even have knights. But it's an interesting question, knowing that she wanted it and how bad Brienne wanted it, like if it could happen. So I was wondering what you thought about it. What do you think?
Question is Howland Reed a knight?
No, Howland Reed
a knight.
Howland Reed's
I was about to say because him backs that hitting freaking start the day in the back is like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. No,
he's just a lord. Howland
I was hoping we would have saw him.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been waiting for him since last season, to be honest. But just like, he's the person that could be living, that could confirm the whole. I mean, I guess we still got room for that, but he's the living person that can confirm everything. When she's like, "Oh, your best friend and your brother's the only person that told you that, huh?"
So that might still be, and that might be some more fan service.
Then Pete, now you're gonna have so your brother says this, your best friend said this, your
dad's best friend.
Not the greatest backup. Andy, do we think that like we saw Mel looking like she was a little scared when she went to try to light that trench on fire, like she was kind of second guessing herself? We already know that Mel, that's the first thing she looks at every day. She can see her death in the fire, so she should already known that she wasn't going to die. So why was she looking so nervous when that fire wasn't lighting?
Well, she ain't worried about herself. She's worried about the battle for the dawn. Like that's the concern. It's like making everybody else. Like she's not totally heartless. Like she's just lived so long that a single life is insignificant to her. Right, so that's why she was fine with burning Shireen and stuff. It's because it's a single life. But if this is the hope of humanity, that's a little different. Like if she can't perform her magic now, when all of humanity needs it, then yeah, she's going to be a little concerned that it can't happen. right? Or that's not going to happen. She can, if she sees her death like the way we saw, she just walks out into a field of snow, takes off her shit, and dies. She doesn't know if like the Night King already passed by then, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's how I saw it.
That's true. Hey, JD, not all the houses decide to pony up and come fight, even though they swore they would till his dying day. What's up? What's going to happen when when the Northerners are marching south and they've lost a lot of good men? Are they going to crack down on these houses and crack the whip and make them come? Are they going to punish them? What's going to happen to those houses that didn't answer the call?
Yeah. The question, the 100% main question, are those houses even still alive? You know what I'm saying? Are these houses even still alive? Umbers are wiped out. Karstarks are wiped out. Mormonts are wiped out. What's to say the rest of these houses are even alive, dude? They could have got wiped out on the way the Night's King on his way down, dude.
Well, you would think, I mean, they've only gotten to Winterfell, so that, I mean, some of those houses are south. I mean, those are right there towards
But in truth, I doubt we ever see them again. I think what we have is what we got, unless as they're marching, houses go, well, shit, they saved our ass from the dead, Walking Dead. We'll join them. But other than that, most houses, I don't think really care at this point in time. They're just kind of waiting to see what happens by the end of this between the lion and the dragon and the wolf. I think that's exactly what's happening. I don't think they're going to do anything other than wait if they're alive.
You agree with that, Andy? Are they just waiting?
Oh,
go ahead. Go
I
ahead, Pete.
I think that most of those houses they were already in Winterfell. They were already there. And like what JD was saying was like they're decimated, yo. You know what I mean? Anybody else that, you know, whatever's left of the North, you know, Sansa's really not fighting for much. You know what I mean?
But Sansa read that letter that those guys said that they were the Serwins or whatever, Tallhearts, whatever. They said that they were staying in their castle, basically.
The Glovers. Yeah, well, they got turned. They part of the army of the dead before they got out there.
I think Glovers live southwest of Winterfell, though. So they would actually be on the opposite side of that battle. They'd be in the safest spot.
Well, they live on the west. They live on the West Coast in the Wolfswood.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're decimated at all. I think they're still hiding behind their walls, and they got some answering to do.
Yeah, they're gonna have to answer for that. They're gonna be decimated. Shoot, they getting rid of houses in the north too. Shit, the Boltons and all of them.
Right,
especially if Jon decides to go to King's Landing with Daenerys, they're not dealing with Jon anymore. This is kind of like a Tywin and his dad situation. Tywin's dad's willing to give, let me give you another chance. You don't have to keep your promises and shit. And then Tywin takes over and that shit's cut out. That's going to be Sansa taking over.
We already saw how Sansa will act.
Yeah, Jon doesn't have a choice. She came north and helped with the army of the dead. He's headed south to help her with fucking Cersei. There ain't a question, and there ain't even a question about it. That boy's going to go where she wants him to go now.
What I mean is, he's not going to be, he's not going to be the Warden of the North. He's not going to be the a King of Winter or, the King of the North. He's going to go to the South and rule.
The best part, the best line, and I can't remember exactly what Melisandre says to fucking Sansa, but basically, if it wasn't for the Dragon Queen, we'd all be dead right now. Basically, sit your ass down, shut the fuck up, and you better fucking thank the gods that you have her here and her army here. So if Sansa's smart, she's headed south with fucking Dany too, or we could see a roast Sansa Stark.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that.
I'm saying ruling wise, if they go down south to take on Cersei, they win, and Jon decides not to stay up in the north but to stay down south. Well, then the Glovers have to deal with Sansa. That's a totally different thing than Jon being well, I'm not going to take away their ancestral homes. Sansa's going to be fuck that. The Wolfswood just became, the Giantsbanes would.
Absolutely.
You know what? Yeah. No, I agree 100% with that. After the whole thing's figured out and done with and Sansa heads back north, oh, yeah, she's going to put her foot down. She's going to put her foot down and go, I'm the warden of the north. I'm lady of the north, so this is how it's going to work.
I don't think Sansa's ever leaving Winterfell again. I think she's happy and she's staying right there. But she is going to put her foot down. And like little lady, like my little she-bear already said, she's like, what are you? You already gave up your kingdom. You're not the king of the north. You're not a lord. What are you? You're not even really a lord. Like, what are you? So basically, he gave up the north to Sansa, and he never came back and took it back because there really wasn't much to take back. Like, Dany named him Warden of the North, but, you know, what kind of power are the people in the north really putting in Jon right now? And what I want to know is, BBM, what's going on? We got Ned Stark, his supposed most loyal bannerman, House Reed, and we haven't seen nor hide nor hair of a Reed nowhere. Now, did they just get a pass because, like, Mira already, like, did everything above and beyond that anybody should have to do, so House Reed gets to just chill? I mean, what's going on with the Swamp Men, BBM?
Exactly. Only thing we got was from Mira from House Reed. That is it. Apparently, Sheldon got no time for that. It could have had at least them coming back for 8 or something. But nope, it seems like the show doesn't care.
What's up, JD? Are we ever going to see any House Reed? I mean, do they make an appearance at all this season?
No, I think what we saw with Jojen and Mira until Mira left because Bran was a cold-hearted bastard, I think that's all we're going to get from the Reeds. I think they played their purpose, and that was that. Pete's over here shaking his head no, so what's up, Pete?
Let us know, Pete. Let him know.
Nah, I was just saying, man, we got to get the Reeds back. And what I was thinking is that Bran is not going to be in the Godswood or Winterfell. I think he's going to have to end up in the God's Eye. You know what I mean? And he's going to have to live his life out right there, yo. You know what I mean? Because that's the most central place.
That's the most holy place for the old gods.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think that this is going to come full circle to the God's Eye, and then the Reeds and Mira, and they're going to be there.
What was up with Andy? What was up with Jon just sitting on Rhaegal when they were trying to light? Like, first of all, why didn't Melisandre? Why wasn't she able to light that fire? Is it because her fire's running low and she knows she's going to die, and that's basically she doesn't have enough power to do it? And second of all, when we looked up and they're trying to light it, Jon was sitting on Rhaegal right there on the dragon, just looking at it. Like, he could have just thrown a couple puffs of smoke into the trench and lit it up. Right?
I was sitting there like, oh my God, the dragon's sitting right there on the wall. Like, just tell it, Jon. Look, what are you doing? That was the original plan, wasn't it? Like and then we light it. Like, you see that they're like, hey, we're going to light it. Fuck your brother. Like, light the thing first. Like, how long would that take? Seriously. But yeah, I think Melisandre couldn't do it. Like, it's that clashing magic of like the Night's King magic with hers. So I think that was the problem. But you know, I was right there with you. I was like, why isn't Jon lighting? Now, you can see the pit in like one of the scenes. They should at least change the angle so you couldn't see that like pit there. Oh man!
I mean, he could have spit a few fire drops into that thing and lit it up. Like, they were just no help, right? No help whatsoever. We got Sam Florida saying that they think Cersei is pumping out anti-Dany propaganda and will bring civilians into the Red Keep to stop Dany from using the dragons. Also, do you think she will blow up King's Landing if she loses? What do we think about that, BBM, about your girl?
Pretty much. That's pretty much a safe bet at this point. Have the civilians in there. Oh, they're going to try to use Dragonfire on me. Wait a minute, you're going to kill your civilians. So I'd probably be like the smartest move at this point. And if she thinks that she's going to lose, just pull a Mad King. She knows the tales.
Absolutely. I think the way they showed us in that new beginning, when they show that ballista and that scorpion, I think they're just going to have like 50 ballistas and scorpions up on the wall, and they're just going to like just light the sky up with arrows and try to make those dragons like obsolete. What do you think about that, Dragon?
It's possible, but I don't know. The one thing we know about D&D is they love their dragons. I mean, I'm a huge dragon fan, but these guys are like drooling obsessed. And no, I don't think they try and kill him. I think they'll try. They'll do the scorpion bit, but you know, we know that Dany and Jon know that they have them. Dany's seen it before, so I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue as everybody thinks it's going to be. If Dany and Jon are smart, they keep their dragons back away from actual King's Landing, back away from the distance of those ballistae and use the dragons to just take down the front lines of the army.
Nice. Hey, Pete, we already saw that Qyburn made the mountain. We already saw that Qyburn took that dead man's arm, and we know that he's been doing crazy tests and freaking out. Is Qyburn going to bust out with some kind of crazy army of the dead of his own to battle against these guys?
That would be too poetic right there. That would be he'll be the new Night King and the Night King of the South. But damn, he just threw me all off with that one, bro.
What do you think about it?
Bro? I think that what I was thinking was that Cersei was gonna use the dragons against Dany by like using the wildfire in King's Landing to like blow it up and like say that Dany did it with the dragons to like inspire fear, and she would be like on the boats, and then they would just like attack from there. But I don't know, man.
That's some real anti-propaganda. What do you think about all that, Andy? What's going on? And if all that happens, is with all that, do you think the Golden Company ends up turning on Cersei within all this?
Oh, with all what though? Like
within the battle, I don't think the Golden Company's standing with Cersei. I think their first chance or whatever, I think they're coming home to try to take the throne themselves, and they're definitely not on Euron's side. So I kind of think the Golden Company's going to snap on Cersei and turn against her.
Yeah.
And then what else do you think about like the ballistas and the dragons? How is Cersei going to deal with that?
Okay, so the ballistas, that's probably legit. We both see that Jon and Dany are both stupid commanders, so it seems reasonable that their dragons could get shot down by ballistas. Whereas, like me, I would be like, hey, we're going to fly like way the hell up there, and then we're just going to go down and roast the keep. But, you know, that's me. You also have like the Unsullied and shit, and you have a smuggler that knows ways in. I think there's better way to go about it than flying the dragons, and we'll see if Tyrion can come through with some smart stuff. But I think the Golden Company is going to stick with it. Like, think about all the shit we learned about the Dothraki and stuff, just for them to become fodder. Like in the end, so I think they're like, damn, we lost like one of our fodder armies and half of our other fodder army. We need a new one. So I'm starting to think that the Golden Company is going to stick with it and just get messed up by everybody else just because how the story's playing out. And they seem fodder-ish.
Golden Company fodder, cannon fodder. I like it. They're basically like, we don't know anything. We don't have any ties. They're basically just there to be an army to die. Is that what's up with that, BBM?
They better not be, because they better have some Grey Worm dying. All these other characters better be dying in this damn war against Cersei. If not, then I'll backtrack my rating for this episode if everyone's apparently just going to be living at the end of season 8.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense at all. That's something people have to die. This is getting ridiculous. I'm really starting to think D&D are just going to Hollywood this. JD, Sansa was giving little T that look, kind of like, you know, if something, and then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, it wouldn't work between us. You're split loyalties to your Dragon Queen. Is there, I mean, we already got the Funko over here, Tyrion sitting on the Iron Throne. Is there a way that Sansa and Tyrion end up hooking up and Tyrion sits the throne?
Doubt it. I think Tyrion is going to do what Tyrion does best, and he's going to hang out with the side that wins. He's going to stick by the Dragon Queen, dude. He has the most power in the freaking world when he stands by Dany. Why would you throw that away? Especially for Sansa.
Well, if he thinks that the Dragon Queen's going Dragon Queen and just going to keep roasting like prominent families, he may not want to, because Tyrion's kind of always wanted to do the right thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
What about you? What do you think about that?
Because Tyrion, like,
ahead,
here's the thing. Sansa's just as fucking crazy as Cersei is. We've seen it this whole season. She's getting really fucking like controlling and power hungry. Like, she was that way when Jon came back and got named king of the freaking North. You've seen the looks and the attitudes thrown.
Sansa,
don't put it past, and don't like we were talking about earlier with her putting her foot down on the North. Don't put it past her to do the same shit that Dany's doing. Just because Dany has dragons doesn't mean Sansa's not going to be cutting throats.
You agree with that, Andy?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, I don't I think Sansa got humbled a little bit in this episode. Like when she was like, "We're worthless," I was like, "Fuck yeah, Sansa!" Like now you got a little humility in you. I could start to like you a little bit again. You got a little bit more to go before I get fully on board with you and start defending you again. But I think she's gonna go crazy. She's gonna be killing people. There's still some betrayals I think that's gotta happen, and I think Sansa might be one of those people, like she completely turns and she becomes like the Cersei of the North. You know what I mean? Like she just learned too much from Littlefinger and Cersei. Like spend too much time in that abyss, or however that phrase goes. You know, you become that monster. She's just staring too long into the abyss.
I don't think she turned into a monster. I think she learned from the very best of them. She took the best of Cersei and the best of Littlefinger and the best of all that she's been through, even the ruthlessness of Ramsay, and she's taken that all together. And man, I'll tell you what, one of my videos, those double meaning videos that I made, go back and check my playlist out, people. I'm telling you, those are starting to be almost 100%. Like everything I predicted in those things seemed to be coming right. And way back then, it was like I predicted, like they were saying Euron was going to go to Dany, and I showed in that video, like, no, he's going to flip it up and go to Cersei. And then after that, I said, and after Cersei, he's going to try to come after Sansa, because basically Sansa is going to end up being the one to rule it all. And it's looking more and more like it's creeping that way. Like you got some major endgame plots coming up. It's looking pretty good. I am loving it.
Absolutely. Like I said, you throw enough poop at the wall, DJ, eventually some of it's gonna stick.
Oh, that was ridiculous. How about, speaking of ridiculous, I mean, Tormund, Jaime, Pod, not even Pod fell, Grey Worm. I mean,
nobody died.
This is the perfect chance to talk about how Dan and Dave ruined my damn game. I had this great game that would have fit, like, if way earlier, and they ruined it. Because, right, if it's all political next week, and then you got another battle episode like the episode after that, so really you only have like one more episode to pick a person to survive. I feel like we should narrow it down. Like the game should, I don't know how to change the game. I immediately thought like, oh, we should have picked like secondary characters. That would have been like an easier way to do it, because secondary characters, we still got some more deaths that I think are going to come. So then it would have been better if you picked like a secondary character survivor. But man, they ruined my game. So mad about that.
Oh, that was absolutely.
I say nobody died. I mean, not to say that nobody died, but everybody who died, we expected them to die. You know what I mean?
And
like,
then some though.
Yeah, but I mean, like even like Lyanna Mormont, the way that she died was epic and it was dope. But she's supposed to die. She wasn't even supposed to be able to die. She was supposed to be a one episode character. You know what I mean? So it's like they had like all these expendable characters. Theon had to die defending Winterfell. You know what I mean? Beric had to die in this war against the Night King. You know what I mean? Like it was just like too many gimme deaths. Like we knew those people were gonna die. We were hoping for even more death than that. And not to wish death on all the characters, but I'm just saying, like, this is Game of Thrones, yo. Like nobody's supposed to be safe. Like this is supposed to be like non-fairy tale ABC primetime family show. You know what I'm saying? Like people who were supposed to die died, but nobody else. You know what I mean? Like,
well, speaking of no big characters falling, BBM, what did you think about Sansa and Tyrion when they kind of gave each other that look and grabbed them knives? Did you think they were going to off themselves like at any time? Like I was like, are they going to kill each other?
When I first saw it, I didn't see them committing suicide, whatever. But second watch, I'm like, yeah, it seems like Sansa probably was about to like get off herself, because it just seems like how it paralleled her with Cersei, and when Battle of the Blackwater, I thought she was going to kind of take that type of role. But Tyrion seems like he was a survivor at this point. At least he was going to die. He's going to go down in a place of glory.
What do you think about that, JD?
Yeah, you know, the look in, I mean, they both had that very sad, suicidal look, and I agree with Brooke. It kind of mirrored that Cersei with Tommen sitting on the Iron Throne kind of situation. That same like drawn, this is the end kind of look. And I think what changed that was the whole little conversation they had between each other. I think realize maybe we do have something to live for, or at least to try to live for. And that's why they ended up going out and actually fighting. Oh, that's why I hate the Hound. He doesn't have a reason to live. He should have died this episode.
What's up? Was the Hound a little bitch, Andy? I thought he was a little more over his fire than that. What was up with that?
For real, like, why you bitch out again? I don't think it was the fire that time. I think he was scared of like all the White Walkers and shit. That's what he was talking about. Like, we can't do this, you know. I want to go off on a little tangent here because, per usual. That, Pete brought up Lyanna Mormont. How about is it confirmed that she's like Tormund's bastard, right? Because Giant's Bane and she's the little bear now. Oh man. And like I feel like, you know, she might be Tormund's bastard. That's my tinfoil Tuesday that you're getting from me. Yeah, I think that was just that little hint in there. For people like me that spend too much time.
That's like tinfoil on the cake with the leftover icing on it, bro. That's some good tinfoil right there, bro.
Yeah,
I like that.
Oh, that was perfect. We love that around here. What's up, BBM? Did you catch any extra feels when Bran looked at it and when Bran looked at Theon and told him he was exactly where he was supposed to be, home?
Exactly, man. Again, that puts even more of when he went out in a blaze of damn glory, man. Even when his sister knew, when he was like, "Oh, I gotta go back to Winterfell and thing." Yeah, so to start his family, man, and just to see, of course, Brad can pretty much see like his whole freaking past. Just seeing the journey he been through from season 1 till now. It's like, dude, this is where you were meant to be, man. Now a freaking Yara going freaking the Iron Islands gonna get stuff back from Yara. No. Here, man,
that's right.
Yo, Funko, why haven't y'all not made a damn Theon Funko Pop by now? That's a damn shame. We got a Yara Funko Pop before Theon. That's a disgrace.
What? There's no Theon Greyjoy Funko Pop?
No, not a single one. But we got a Yara.
He might have earned his Funko Pop now.
Yeah,
he might even get one of the Funko Pop scenes and shit. You know?
Hey, Andy, how cool is that to see Jaime and Brienne fighting back-to-back on the walls of Winterfell? Basically, it was, when I looked at that, like it was ice defending Winterfell, because both of the Valyrian steel, that's basically ice up there defending its home. I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was cool. Neither one of them died, which was... But, someone said earlier, I forget who said it, I thought Brienne was dead like 3 times. Like, I felt the same damn way. Like, I thought she was already dead. That's kind of the thing that bugged me. People kept getting swarmed by stuff, and then there was always someone there to save them. Like, I felt bad enough, like, last season when that happened, when the Hound saved Tormund. Like, that Tormund should have died there. He was all caught up. He was getting swarmed, and then someone just comes in and saves him. I thought it was cool that they were saving each other, like, good, hit you in the feels. But... I kept thinking they were dead. Like they kept getting swarmed and it didn't happen. But yeah, that's a cool thought. I didn't even think about that, about ice there, in that section.
I definitely with you on that one on the ice thing. But man, that is definitely true, Andy, because there's like one scene where like Brienne fights her way from one entire side of the battlements, like the whole U shape across, just to save Jaime from getting dogpiled on the wall. You know what I mean? And then like they just get dogpiled here, dogpiled there. I'm stuck, And then when Brienne's yelling, the way she yelled, you think she dying for real, bro. Like sometimes I thought she was really getting stabbed up, but it's just like they just jump on them. They don't stab them.
Speaking of jumping on him, how sick was that little barrel roll Arya did when she jumped down the hallway and rolled over the top of him? I was like, she is truly a motherfucking ninja. Like, my girl was doing it. That was beautiful.
It was cool. Like, how about the library scene? Like, you got how quiet she was being because the blood hitting the ground. They like heard that, but they couldn't hear her walking through the thing. And they like quieted everything down. That was a cool scene. I was like, oh shit. They kind of like set that up last episode, right? Or 2 episodes ago when she snuck up on Jon.
Absolutely.
Right? She was able to sneak up on him. And so that's how quiet she is. That was
I mean,
pretty
didn't you realize? I mean, it kind of felt like a video game to me at that point, though. Like I was like, this is straight out of Metal Gear Solid or some like old school like creep around video game. That's how I felt about it. I was
She was
like,
about to get under a box.
that was crazy to me. Oh, but I mean, let's just one more time. R.I.P. to motherfucking House Mormont. Jorah tried to tell your little she-bear ass to get down in the crypts, but she wasn't having it. She's going to be out there fighting with her people. Rest in peace, my little she-bear. That is messed up, but she did go down like a motherfucking boss. That was so sick. The littlest person in the show taking out the biggest most problem, other than the Night King. I mean, the largest thing on the show. That was, I don't know. Was that epic? Was it cheesy? How do we feel about that, JD? Did you like that death scene?
Wait, which death scene?
My little she-bear getting got by the giant.
Oh, man, dude, that was like, yeah, Felicia's in there going, I told you she was going to die 2 years ago. We all knew she was going to die eventually. We all knew that was going to happen. You just have more hate for the girl than anybody. But for her to get and batted aside like a fucking fly, stand up and just take off charging at a dead giant. Like, if I'm going to die like a beast. Dude, I thought she was giant's food there for a second, like Pete said earlier. I mean, he literally had her like, you're a snack real quick. And she goes, I actually cheered at that scene. I was like, that was a good scene. All right, cool. It was great. But dude, the body slam she took from when she went down from that giant was just epic.
Oh,
I mean,
and the way she walked up, like how good was that acting? Like all limping and shit.
Yeah. But dude, after that, when the giant came down with her and just, I mean, she smushed into mush. I mean, that was an epic body slam. I loved it.
Oh, what do you think, Pete? Did it do it for you? I mean, was that scene all it could be?
Yeah, man, it was dope, man. Especially the way that he just like pimp slapped her out the way the first time. Just like mushed her out the way. She was like, ah! And I was like, damn, she can't be just knocked out like that. She came back hard. You know what I mean? She represented for House Mormont. Like I was pointing to, like, that's the only house banner I got. I got some other shit coming, but Mormont for sure. I got that as a gift. For real.
Who takes over the Bear Islands now, Andy?
Tormund.
Her dad, Tormund. I don't know if you caught that earlier. Yo,
hey, I'm with that. I think that I was actually under that impression anyway, that like if those two were the last Mormonts, that they would give that to Tormund, just because he already set himself up with the whole Giant's Bane, the bear fucker, and all that. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, but the best part of that scene, I'm with JD. Like when he slams her, like there was for a second when she stabs him, like she was getting crunched. Like, oh, maybe she could survive this somehow. And then he falls down, like boom, slams her ass in the ground. I'm like, holy shit, nope.
Yeah, that's game over time right there. It was end over, but she went out like a boss, absolute boss. BBM, when you saw Viserion coming after Dany and he was splitting that blue fire, didn't it kind of look like he was roasting her ass with that? Like, I thought she was getting burnt up. Like, was that touching her?
It pretty much did. At one point, I thought, okay, so this is going to be the end of Drogon. But nope, she's still kicking and thing. It's like, that was like one of the things I was kind of hoping for. If the Night King does end up dying this episode, are one of the dragons going to be defeated? So it can be less of a challenge for Cersei. But still alive, apparently.
Man, I kind of love that little nod to the Dance of the Dragons. What do you think about all that CGI, JD?
From the parts of like what I could see that was actually happening, it looked great. And like you guys said earlier, the fog was perfectly played because you had Jon and Dany bouncing into each other in the whole night. I mean, the Night's King played that pretty perfectly. But the actual fight between, see, like I said, when I first started watching it, I thought it was Jon fighting Viserion. Like I thought it was Rhaegal and Viserion going to fight because Viserion's the one that crashed, right? Or Rhaegal's the one that crashed, right?
Right.
So that first fight that was happening when the Night's King, right before the Night's King fell off, was Jon, and then when the Night's King fell off, it was Dany. So it was just hard to watch it because, I mean, I brightened up at the second time and it was a little bit better, but I still think the freaking thing was shot too dark. I mean, there was no point for the freaking episode to be that dark where people have to adjust their TV sets to fucking watch it.
Yeah, it was crazy dark, no doubt about it. That was
But it was a good fight. I enjoyed the dragon fight. It was fun to watch.
nice.
Yeah, I thought while this was happening, if you told somebody about this show, and this is what I was thinking as this is going on, I'm like, how would I describe to somebody that like almost in a kind of like Middle Ages or Dark Ages, whatever age it is, it's kind of set area that you get to watch a dog fight happen. Like, yeah, it's just regular sword fight on the ground, but you get to watch like a dog fight happen in the air where you're watching two dragons go up against each other like they're F-16s or something. Like, that's how I felt in the thing. I was like, man, I couldn't even describe this to somebody if they didn't know anything about it.
Oh, because it's amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights for me too, the parts that you definitely could see. But you know, another thing I thought about really just recently is that, like, why was Dany running from that fire if they've shown her proven to be unburnt? Like, she could have had like a reverse Night King scene where like him chasing her with the fire would have been nothing.
She's unburnt. Drogon's not.
Yeah,
I think that's why she's. But yeah, I'm with you guys. When they were showing the Night's King following Dany and the blue flame, dude, I was like, dude, Drogon's getting fucking roasted alive right now. That was my thought the whole time he was blowing flames.
Yeah.
And what's going on with those blue flames? I mean, are they hot? Is it so cold that you can't do it? Does it just freeze you solid? Like, what's going on with them blue flames?
I don't know. We never actually get to it. When you see Viserion, when he hits the ground and he starts blowing flames everywhere, I guess it freezes him because nobody catches on fire, but you don't see actually what happens to him. He's just blowing flames everywhere, and everybody's just kind of splitting and running.
Yeah.
And I was like, when Jon stood up, I'm like, oh, we're going to see if Jon's going to live this out. And then he died. But I don't know what he actually, if he breathes ice so cold it blows shit up, or if he breathes fire so hot it melts him to a puddle. It didn't ever explain it.
Yeah,
especially it doesn't help when the fire sounds like ice itself. So it's like, what's really happening?
But
I see some people talking. We'll keep talking about this, but there's some people talking about in the chat. My little she bear, and she charged because she knew that giant was just crushing fools, and somebody had to take that giant out, and nobody was able to do it. So my little she bear went and took it down. She knew it was going to cost
that her house words or something like that.
What's that?
Isn't like House Mormont like their words or so? What's their house words or something?
Giants until you die.
It's here we
yeah, so she pretty much lived up to it.
Yeah,
that's what Andy said.
Run for nothing. So yeah, my little she bear saw a giant coming in, roughing fools up, and somebody had to do something, and she stepped up to the mic and made it happen. It may have been reckless to some, but again, just like Theon, she did what she had to do, and she took it out.
I feel like you can't say.
Andy said it last week. She had to at least one or two whites.
Oh,
if not, it was pointless. So thank you, Andy. Thank you.
Yeah, I was talking statistically speaking. You would have to kill more than 2 zombies to be an effective person in the battle, right? Which is why I thought like the Dothraki up front is stupid, because you're basically just instantly making their army that much more powerful. Because if they didn't have the fire, then you're straight like screwed at the beginning, right? So you're just going and feeding the army. Everybody has to kill at least 2 people to make it to null, and you have to get 3 people if you want to be like a benefit to your war, because you're gonna turn
or one really big person.
Yeah. So yeah.
So she got it done. She got it dialed, and she was a superstar. She made it happen, and that is amazing. What's up, Andy? Did you think Arya was going to kill Melisandre when she got there and saw her?
I think Arya kind of got soft, like a little bit. She kept some people on her list, but people that haven't really killed anybody, she basically took all those people off, right? Like, who's on her list that hasn't killed anybody, right? She took Beric off for no reason. That was the big giveaway. It's like, if she took Beric off, she has to take Melisandre off. How's that any different? I mean, I guess if she's like, well, if Gendry didn't tell her, like, yeah, I've been like with 3 other girls, Like if he was like, "No, I'm still a maiden," right? Like then she would have been pretty pissed off. She might have killed her. But he's like, I've been with a few other girls, so you don't got no reason to be mad at Melisandre.
Oh, that is priceless. I love that. I love that. You agree with that, JD? Did you think she was going to kill her, or you just thought like, nah, she let Barrett go, so she's letting her go?
I think in her mind, like, yeah, we got the episode before, and he goes, "Did you mark him off your list?" She's like, "Yeah, I took him off." She took the Hound off. Whatever, but when you first see her, she kind of looks at her, cocks her head like she kind of, I think in the back of her mind was going to kill her, but at the same time going, right now we need all the fucking help we can get. And this Red Priest is fires. Yeah, the Red Priest is probably one of the biggest helps we've got right now, so maybe we'll just leave her alone. I don't know what her thought process was there, but me, if I was Arya at that point in time, that would have been my thought process is, okay, she helped us, so if we're gonna kill her, we'll let Davos have her fucking head at the end of this shit, kind of situation. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the whole taking off the necklace and walking and withering away, I booed that because I really wanted Davos to have her head.
Oh no, Davos didn't need to have that on his conscience. She was going out anyway. BBM, when we saw that big panned out shot and there was a big fire around Winterfell, and then there was kind of some other fires, like it actually looked like a KO symbol, like knockout blow, like Winterfell's getting fucked up. But it kind of looked like there was a fire or a line going through it, almost making it look like Khal Drogo's pyre. It's like, did you see any of that symbolism when all that fire was going around the whole castle? Like, did you get anything from that? Or am I just seeing things again?
You are seeing things yet again, DJ. Like, I was looking at it like, oh my gosh, are they going to like live, die, whatever? And also, thank goodness there's fire because I actually could see everything on my screen. First watch, hardly saw anything until I actually watched the second time and, change the brightness and stuff. But yeah, again, you're seeing stuff, but I can see a video tomorrow, whatever, talking about this couch thing. And this whole time, what is her name? Miriam Spence Duel was probably predicting, the Battle of Winterfell. Well, we know.
That's awesome. Dude, when those dragons were fighting and like Jon and the Night King was going, did anybody else think like you were going to get like a real Dance of the Dragons things and he was like going to go bitter steel on them and blood raven them, like jump from his dragon over to the other one and just stab them like right there? Dude, I was thinking that.
I was hoping for that, bro. There's no saddles, bro. I was hoping for Jon to just jump off his fucking dragon and jump over there to the Night King, just like you said, bro.
Hell yeah. And before we keep going on that one, we got Sam Florida wondering if Mel's necklace still works if someone else picks it up. If they are a true believer like Mel is, yes, absolutely, that will still be a glamour. But
someone said it right quickly. Someone said it right. I think it was on Bridge 4 stream. Like Miss Sunday should pick it up and wear it.
Yeah, I think it was Bridge. I think it was Kevin that said that. Just pick it up and wear it forever and never change. Just look like that forever. Because yeah, that'd be amazing. But that's awesome. But was anybody else feeling that? What about you, Andy? Were you feeling like there might be some Dance of the Dragon action and like Jon might jump onto his dragon and battle him right there in the air?
For sure. Especially when that thing's biting at you right there. You ain't got nothing to lose at that point. Like, get alongside it. Do something. Like, you got to, like they said, or like Ramsay said, like, you might, the way they talk, you might be the best swordsman in the Seven Kingdoms, right? Like, use your strength. You can beat this guy's sword. Like, you can beat him. You're one of the only people that has a weapon that can actually fight against this guy. Why don't you use that? Like, the dragon, he's got a dragon too, and he's been riding it a little bit longer than you've been riding yours. Plus, he can kind of control it way more with his mind. So let's stick with my own strength and jump on that dragon, try to stab him in the back or something.
Hell yeah, that would have been so dope. Oh, I would have been, dude, I'd have just been beside myself. I'd have lost it. Fandom, is the Night King half superhero? I mean, how does he fall that far from the sky and he just didn't even seem to be phased? Like, how does he fall and not get hurt? And then, I knew that Danny, we knew that the burning Night King with the dragon, that wasn't going to work. They made a thing about it. So it's like, but when she was just sitting there, did you kind of think he was going to pick up that spear and just throw it out of the fire and kill Drogon?
That's what I thought was going to happen. The moment he just picked it up, I'm like, yes, finally, one of the dragons going to die this episode. But then he missed. I'm like, so previous season, you were able to kill freaking Viserion. But I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe, again, like what JD said D&D just love their dragons, so they want another one to die already. So yeah, it was kind of disappointing there. But yeah, to your is the Night King a superhero? He's not human, so I guess hell, if you can fall from that altitude and come down, he still should be alive. I don't think anyone expected him to actually die from that fall.
Nice. What's up, Andy? Is the Night King a superhero? And was there any significance to there only being the 12 White Walkers that walked in with him? Does that number mean anything?
Not to me, but I'm sure it means something to you. Yeah, you know, I get that they're like big, you know, like the people going beyond the wall. I forget what your whole thing about that, the importance of like the people. There's another story where someone goes beyond the wall with a party of 12 or something. So it was kind of like a reoccurring thing, but I think it's just reoccurring things in the world, like we said. So maybe, well, shit, maybe he was the prince that was promised. He had to turn. He was just coming to get Bran, like, oh, it's your turn. And then Arya came and fucked it up.
Pete, they knew that they were battling the Night King. The Night King is famous for being able to raise the motherfucking dead. How are you going to go down in the crypts and hide with a bunch of dead people? What's that all about?
Yeah, I mean, it's the dumbest thing. The dumbest battle strategy of safety ever, yo. And like, as many times as they said it in the 2 episodes before that the crypts will be safe, the crypts will be safe. Like, it just fell right into it. But to be honest, the crypts were safe. You know, nothing happened in the crypts, yo, because
well, some people died.
Yeah, but them fucking whites, them old dead Starks don't know how to look around no corners, yo. Them people was hiding in the corner like Scooby-Doo, looking out like, oh, is the damn ghost gone? Oh yeah, we just chilling right here. But like, yo, they ain't even look around the corner for nobody. It was like I thought, like y'all was saying, I thought that Tyrion and Sansa were gonna kill themselves because it was just that's the only place they could hide, and like they didn't have nowhere else to go. But then he's like, "Oh no, we'll just go around this corner." And then there's 20 other people hiding behind this corner, and then Varys is looking at them like, "Hey, get out my spot, man! Like y'all in my spot. This is our spot. We got the good spot. Y'all messing it up for us. Y'all gonna get us caught, yo." But like, ain't nobody got caught in the crypt. The crypt was safe. Only people got caught were the people who we did not care about. Like, it's just nobody died.
Oh, that was awesome. I love that shit. What was up, Andy, when Jon just stood up and started screaming at that blue dragon in his face? Like, I mean, did he just have enough? He had just screwed it? Or was he like going to stand up and try to warg that thing like he was doing with Ghost, realizing his powers and basically was battling the Night King? I mean, what was going on with that?
I think he probably gave up, or as Bubba said, he thought he was in Skyrim. He was gonna boosh at that beast. But yeah, I think he was gonna go for it. He's like, my Valyrian steel can probably take it out. And you know how they do in shows where they're like, ah, and then go in. Just even Arya, like, you gotta scream when you're jumping in to kill. I don't know. When people do that, they got to yell when they're coming in for a sneak attack. That's just what they do in shows.
BBM, how hard must it have been for when Jon was walking through, seeing all those battles going down, and he saw Sam getting basically overtaken? Like, everything in his body, it seemed like, wanted to go back and help Sam, but he was still trying to stay on task with Bran. Like, what do you do in that situation?
I would do the same thing that Jon did, the same thing what Dolores Ed and crew did back, what was it, season 3? Like, come on now. You gotta, at one point with Jon, his goal at that point was to quickly save Bran, get to the Night's King, or it's over. It was just pointless. So Sam was there chilling. He got ultimate plot armor, just sitting down there, just all that chaos, and not one person kills him. Yet in the beginning of the episode, you got Dolores Ed saves him, stands there for a few seconds, and gets off. Like, what the hell? Like, oh my gosh, you should have been in the cribs.
Unbelievable. So what's up, JD coming into the ending? What did we think about it? How did we think about, what did you think? Were you happy the way Arya came in and did it? I mean, they gave us the prelude when she came sneaking up on Jon. What did we think about that?
No, I was not happy with it. I wasn't happy with the jump, get stuck catch a blade, stab him. It seemed really hoaxy to me. Literally, all I wanted, one fight. Make Theon do it. Give him the fight. Literally, Night's King. They're fighting. Catches a shaft, breaks it, stabs Theon. Give it a 30-second, 45-second fight. As soon as he turns around, then Arya jumps in with her fucking blade and stabs him. I'd have been good with it. I'm not mad that they had Arya kill the Night's King. The way it was done is the problem I have. It was too easy. I mean, we've been literally worrying about this freaking army for 5 seasons now, and the Night's King dies like that, dead, done. Wasn't happy. Sorry. That's what killed the episode for me. That was my biggest downfall this whole episode.
Sounds like you might be kind of in agreement with that, Andy.
Yeah, you know it. It was just anticlimactic. Just how you don't get no resolution. Like, the best explanation is like, okay, he's just an ultimate evil that wants to destroy humanity. That's silly. Like, he doesn't have any purpose, or I don't know. If the Night King doesn't come back with like Bran turning in the Night King or something like that, like maybe Bloodraven is like a borrowed power from like the Night King, and your ultimate fate is becoming a Night King in the interim once you get powerful enough. I don't know. It just seems silly. Like, it's so anticlimactic. I'm down with Arya killing him. Like, sure, give that. I love Arya. She's my favorite character. I'm completely down with her killing Night King. But how do you set up the whole show? Like, from the very beginning of the very first episode to now, like, this is it. This makes, like, it kind of makes me look silly because I've been talking this whole season about how everybody's disrespecting what John's saying. He's like, hey, you idiots, like, a real badass enemy is coming to kill us all. Stop bickering about, like, houses and shit. And then come to find out they were all right to be bickering about that because Arya was just going to Deus Ex Machina come in and boom, kill him. Like, I don't know. Like, it bugged me in that manner, especially because it embarrassed me about the stream, about me being on John's side. Now I feel silly for even being on John's side because it turns out Sansa was right. She really is the smartest person in the whole Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, I don't know about that. But what's up, fandom? Doesn't that just mean that something else has to be? I mean, is the Night King story, is the whole thing done? Or is the fact that this happened, Theon went down, what are the Ironborn's words? What's dead may never die. This happened in the Godswood, in front of the Heart Tree of Winterfell. The Night's King, Bloodraven part of Bran's there. Doesn't there just have to be something going on? When he sat there and warged freaking Bran, how do we know Bran's a good guy? Bran sat there and looked at Theon and said, "You're a good man, Theon." Almost like he might have been saying, "I'm not anymore." Bran's told us, like, we're all still looking at little Bran like, yeah, he's changed, he's doing his thing. How do we know Bran's still a good guy? How do we know Bran hasn't been changed? How do we know Bloodraven, when he went out, he didn't take over Bran? How do we know when the Night King just died, when he was sitting there staring, maybe that was Bran and they had done a switch and Arya just killed her own brother? Like, maybe, like, Bran is not a good person. Maybe Bran is the one that's going to turn out evil, and that's going to be the big switch. Bran's going to end up being the big bad in all this. What's up, BBM? Am I nuts again?
I don't think you're nuts if you're coming through in the way of the books. Show-wise, you're nuts. It's over. It's done. I wish it's still going because I literally just brought this, HBO shop exclusive Night King on the throne. Now it's irrelevant. The moment I literally got this was yesterday, thinking that in advance, oh yeah, probably going to be like the last 2 episodes, so Night King's still going. But no, he's dead. He's gone. Like, the whole purpose, if you even rewatch the first episode, it kind of just shows you that the first villain we see, White Walking stuff, will be like one of the first, like the last villains. Not the last villain, but the first in the last season. He's gonna be the first villain to die. And then we see Cersei, the next and final villain, unless it's gonna be Dany. He's gonna come out of nowhere and be the actual villain. at this point. But I kind of wish it, but the end is the end. Night King pretty much, as I believe JD said this previous week, like he's just was a weapon, became a virus. That's it. Nothing more. Unless you want to read the books, George can explain a little bit more. But for the show, that's what he was.
What's up, Pete? Yara said that he wasn't dead, old man. He was asleep. This means that he's been around for a long time and other things seem to be happening. And if he wasn't around, we already know, like, the White Walkers can basically vanish down into nothing and then pop back up and be right next to you. Even Bran, like, he was up on a ledge and then Bran turned away and then he turned back and the Night King was right there and grabbed him. So if we already know he's got magic, I mean, how will we know this isn't an illusion? How do we know that maybe he didn't just act like he died or he didn't just fall into something and the real him like just went through the snow and he's still alive? I mean, that was a pretty quick and easy. I mean, it was sweet and cinematically it was dope, but that was a pretty easy way to be taking out the big bad. Pete, do we really believe that the Night King story is over?
Well, I really hate to say that, but yeah, in the show, the Night King is a done daughter. He's done. It's over for him, bro. Like, it might as well just turn bright and sunny in the north now and have the damn rabbits come out and shit and butterflies and shit. It's over up there because, like, there's no big bad. And what I feel like it is trying to represent is that, yeah, the ultimate evil is done, but the evil in man is still worse because that's what we got to fight with Cersei. And that's bullshit. I need a fucking sword fight. I need some fucking shit clanging and fucking people getting fucked up by the Night King. And then Arya comes in and saves the day. And then it's worth it. But, yo, I just can't deal with the way that they just destroyed an 8,000-year-old evil. Even if they just do it 1,000 years like they did in the show. But it's just like, just for nothing but a 3-second kill, it was done. It's a wrap.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, Pete, what are you calling it?
Oh, this episode was 8, and it's only because the visuals were just so great. You know what I mean? It's only based on the visuals. The story, if I had been on stories, a fucking 4. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's just the visuals really saved it. You know, even though the Dothraki charge was stupid, it looked so dope on the mountainside with that arrow of flames just darting in. You know what I mean? It's like one of those war games you simulate and shit. Like, you just see them charging in. But like, yo, it definitely still gets an 8 because it's Game of Thrones. And it's not going to stop me from watching it. And I know that it's just a show. You know what I mean? Everything that we had expectations for just because we got the book show.
There you go. What about you, Andy? Scale of 1 to 10, what do you call it? And did you just hate the whole thing? And about the Melisandre death, like, are you with JD? You wanted to see Davos kill this guy, or you wanted to see Davos kill her, or you're happy with how it went? Like, what's up with the ending? How do you feel about it?
With Davos and stuff, I'm down. Like, I'm a Jaime fan, so I gotta give the option for redemption. And if she can help she saved a lot of people by setting that thing on fire. So, she saved more people than she hurt, presumably. And for the episode, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I would have gave it a 4, but I like the Silent Hill nostalgia. So with all the fog, it just reminded me of simpler times.
That's awesome. We got some people in the chat. We got Chrissy Oldstone said 10 out of 10 for me. Storyline, 4 out of 10, not so good. Catherine Harding's got a 9 out of 10. I love it. Imagination Realm gave it a 10. Arya is badass. I love it. Jordy Jedi giving it a 10. That's fantastic. Yeah, so there's some people who are definitely on it, but I've definitely heard some people the other way.
But how do you give it compared to Battle of the Bastards, bro? Like, that is the 10.
That's a 10 out of 10.
What do you give that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, compared to his last greatest episode. Like, come on, bro.
I feel. But go ahead, Andy. I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to put out some of those numbers I was talking about.
No worries. The thing is like, I was excited for certain things, but it was just like you couldn't see what was happening, right? Like, if the Battle of the Bastards was in the daytime, you could it had a great thing where you followed John for like a full like 2 minutes, and he's like whacking people. Who cares if it was unrealistic? It's like he freaking launched a dude off his horse with a sword somehow. I don't know, but who cares? Like, it was like a good cinematic thing. This was like you couldn't even see what was happening. You didn't know what character was getting stabbed. I was like, oh, is that somebody important? Like, because you kind of feel like they should have had some people that just died unceremoniously. Like, they got stabbed and pulled in, and that was it. Like, you felt like someone should have happened to, and it shouldn't have been made a big deal of, because the whole thing, there's tons of people dying. So all that, you couldn't see what was going on. It was kind of anticlimactic at the end. There was a lot of things that I did like, but it was just too much of like not being able to, I don't want to say I can't see it all, but like too much confusion, which maybe that was intentional with the battle and stuff, but just didn't do it for me.
I was definitely way overhyped. I thought the battle would be sicker the way they hyped that up. The Battle of the Bastards was still way better. But, I definitely liked it. And you're spot on, dude. It was so dark. Absolutely, 100%. It was way too hard. You didn't know who was killing who, or good guys dying, bad guys. So, yeah, you're spot on with that for sure.
The very last thing, my least favorite superhero, Batman, gets one thing right. The villain is the most important thing in your story. More important than your heroes. The villain is more important. So just the Night King going out like that, like, kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Or maybe he's not the main villain. Maybe it's Euron, and we don't even know it yet. What's up, BBM? What do you think about that ending and Melisandre's death and how it ended? Scale of 1 to 10. What'd you feel about it?
So Melisandre, I was hoping that was gonna run up on her and just kill her, but nope. He just stopped there and just watched her just take off the necklace and then just die. I was like, damn. Could have had a great moment where Davos actually kills someone or something in this episode. And he's like, nah, you're not gonna do it. You're good. You're good, Davos. You're good. But yeah, what's another thing with the Arya thing? It's like, and the Night King die. Like, I remember saying this like weeks before this episode started. Like, if the Night King dies this episode, it better be good, or I'll get a 6 out of 10 from me instantly. But apparently it's very easy to like please me, so I rate this episode a 9 out of 10. It was good. The only thing I had a problem with was the goddamn Walking Dead plot armor. There are moments, again, people bring this up and here and everywhere else I go, where if a whole bunch of whites start like covering our heroes here, and you have even Brienne, I think she screams like once or twice in horror. I'm like, oh my god, she's actually about to die. It doesn't happen. Same thing to so many other characters. I'm just like, if they're still alive, like, just don't even show it that way at all. Because I'm thinking that some of these characters are actually going to die, but it's like, no. But other than that, it was a good episode, regardless of what happened. I can see why people are pissed off that we didn't get no Jon Snow versus Night King. They could have had a Jon Snow versus Night King. Had the Night King either have the upper hand or if about to lose, punk out, and again, you could have raised the den right there. But like, that was like those like the only two gripes: the plot armor and the Jon Snow versus Night King should have happened. And then someone tried to convince me, saying like, oh well, we saw Hard Home and even like Beyond the Wall, where even in a fight, Variant Steel, this one slash, and pretty much Night King just could have been killed, and even then it could have been anticlimactic as well. But it's like, I wouldn't truly know if I actually seen this guy in a fight. It's kind of like Star Wars, where Darth Vader just picks up freaking Darth Sidious and throws him down. First time I watched Star Wars, I'm like, oh wow, he actually was able to do that. But when you actually learn how powerful Darth Sidious is, that you're just able just to pick him up and just throw him down. It's like, what? Even when it came to like The Last Jedi, where Snoke gets killed easily, I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I wish it just drew it out a little bit more, actually get to see more, but at the same time, it's like, okay. But yeah, 9 out of 10 still.
9 out of 10. JD, we know you wanted to see Davos kill the lady in red, but ending, all total overshow. What do you think?
All right, so I gave it a 7 out of 10. The reason I gave it a 7 out of 10 is exactly what Pete said. The visuals, the action of this episode was decent. Story, I'm down in the 3s and 3.5. I mean, this story was junk. It was, I don't know. It just didn't seem right. Didn't seem to fit how the show has been going at all. I wasn't a fan of Grey Worm sacrificing his troops. I wasn't a fan of the Hound standing behind a post hiding. And people can get mad at me or whatever, but 90% of Westeros has PTSD. So there's a point where you got to step up and fight anyway. Everybody in this freaking story has been face to face with some type of a situation and still walked away and still fought their ass off. I mean, dude, a freaking 12-year-old kid showed you he had more balls than you do. Let's see, what else was I disappointed in? Yeah, Davos not being able to kill the Red Woman. I was really hoping for that one. The Night's King literally getting killed by a stab in the side, very disappointing. And how dark the whole episode was just, I don't care what the director says, it was just horrible. I shouldn't have to adjust my TV to watch a freaking show. But other than that, yeah, 7 out of 10, 3.5 on the story. So there you go, man.
Absolutely. Just because it was so hard and so confusing, and I don't really care about the Night King because, of course, I already thought Arya was killing him, so I was spot on and absolutely love that shit. But I gave it an 8 out of 10 just because my only thing with the show was it was a little bit predictable. There was too many times like I was saying word for word what it was going to be. I mean, not the Sansa Arya, that was awesome. Sticking with the pointy end was great. But there was a couple other ones where I still spit out word for word and knew exactly what was going to happen and who was coming back. And so it was a little predictable like that. And it was a little too dark, like you didn't know who was killing who. But other than that, I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. And like I said, my rant right out of the gate with this, I thought Theon did exactly what Theon had to do. So, I mean, yeah, I thought it was great. The Hound was a little bitch like we talked about. I can't believe, like, yeah, so many people are trying to feel sorry for him. And, yeah, he did do what he needed to do, but Beric had to scream at him how many times? And when Dolores Ed was screaming at Sam to get up, Dolores Ed took a freaking stake through the back of the head. So what if that would have happened to Beric before he had a chance to save him? I mean, the Hound was being ridiculous, I don't know, like a little kid just all crying against the wall. It's like, come on, man, you one of the big guys. You one of the bad boys. Let's do this. You can't be all curled up like that. So, yeah, that one got me a little bit. Well, what's up, Andy? Before we get out of here, first of all, everybody throw out who you think's going to live through the next episode, and what do you think, one prediction you think's going to happen next episode, Andy?
All right. I think my survivor for this next episode is going to be Tyrion. That's who my survivor is. Oh, was this picking somebody to die? Or are we picking our survivor? Finishing off the game? What's up?
What's that?
I'm a terrible listener. Was I supposed to be picking my survivor for this week?
Yep, pick your survivor and give us one prediction for the next episode.
All right, my survivor is Tyrion. And then my prediction is we're gonna get a time skip and meet Howland Reed. How about that? Time skip, Howland Reed meetup.
Time skip, Howland Reed meetup. Time skip, Howland Reed meetup. And you got Tyrion as your guy that's going to win it.
Yep. He'll survive this next episode.
And we're going to see we're going to get a Howland Reed sighting?
Yeah, I think we're going to get a Howland Reed sighting.
Nice.
So those are my two predictions. Wait. So I guess just Howland Reed sighting. I don't need the time skip, but I think that's going to happen too. So extra credit.
What about it, Pete? What do you think? Give us one quick prediction. What do you think is going to happen next week?
Ain't nobody dying next week.
And everybody in the chat, let us know if you gave a guess last week. Go ahead and throw one in. Who do you think is going to live through next week in your survivor pool?
So I mean, I'm just gonna pick the easy one. John surviving. And but I'm just saying nobody's gonna die next episode. People might die in the fifth episete.
I picked out that Cersei was going to die in episode 4 before the season started, and I'm going to stick to that.
Pete, you can only pick like that character once. So the thing is, you're limited to main characters, and you can only pick them once per.
I see what you're saying. Okay, all right. So let me just say,
if you think John's going to survive the whole thing, that might be a good one at the end.
I picked Jon Snow. That's my pick for this week. Is Jon Snow.
I'll just go with Sam. With that one. Just like
you got to do main characters. So like it's what was the list? The Stark kids, all the Stark kids. So Arya, Sansa, Bran, Jon. Then Tyrion. Who else do we have? Daenerys,
Danny Sansa.
Jamie. Yeah, and
Yeah,
What
Jamie.
about Tormund?
no, Tormund don't count.
Nope. Even though he showed us since he made it through this damn episode.
Like I said, woo! So I won that bet. Like when we said the first non-main character to die, he was the third person. I mean, only like 4 of them died this episode, but still.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll just stick with John.
What's up, Imagination Realm? Who are you going to put in there? We still got you. I think you're the one that's in there. Living My Rhapsody in there. If you guys want to drop Peter Griffin, I know you got one in there. So who do you guys think? You already have your picks, and they made it through week 1. Who do you think's going to live through week 2? LMR, you already picked Arya. Can't pick her. Imagination Realm already picked Arya. Can't pick her. Once you David picked Arya. If you're still out there, can't pick her. Go ahead, JD. You picked Arya. Who's going to be your next one?
My next one to survive? Oh. Well, I agree with Pete. I think this one's all political and build up for episode 5 for the battle. Nobody's going to die in this episode, so I'm gonna go with Danny. And my prediction is, we're just going to get a bunch of political bullshit. So there's my prediction.
So the smart play is if you think nobody's going to die, then you got to pick the most probable person you think is going to die. That's the smart play here.
Yeah, definitely to make it out too.
Right, if you think they're going to die the episode after that, then you want to use them up on a freebie week, right?
No. What's up, BBM? Let's get it through. What do you think? Who's going to do it? Give us a prediction and who's going to live.
I would say Bran is the person I choose. I would pick Cersei, but I don't know. Sometimes a little bit too risky. Pick her now. Probably pick her later because she's obviously going to live. Let's see. My prediction, the dude who's controlling House Glover, the Glover dude, gotta go. He gotta die. I believe that they're going to kill him for, not helping out. Like the whole, because remember when, I forgot who's the dude who went against John's orders in the Night's Watch and then he executed him? Like in one situation. Yeah, there we go. Situation here. I wish I happened to the dude from House Glover.
Nice. I see we got One True David Adam in there. Make a pick, bro. We still got you in here. Who do you think's gonna do it? We got Chrissy Oldstone saying John. One True David Adams. Who's gonna live next week? Who's gonna live through the week? And Pete, did we get your prediction in?
So you saying if I pick Jon Snow now?
That's it.
Yeah, but I think he's going to survive through the whole thing, so I'm just getting him out the way.
Okay. Get him out the way.
No, that's not smart, though. Like, if you think he's going to do the whole thing, like, I think that Sansa's going to survive the whole thing. So the very last episode, I'm picking Sansa. So that's what I'm doing because I know she's going to be alive at the end. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saving her because the last 2 episodes that's the biggest chance for main characters to die, right? So I think people are dying. Yeah. I think I'm starting to think Varys is going to betray people. He was even putting shit in Tyrion's ear like last season. So I'm starting to think he's a little.
Yeah, Varys definitely got to die. I just thought he would have died in the battle. Like it's just, yeah.
But I think he might trick Tyrion some way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Tyrion's dying.
Tyrion ain't dying shit. Tyrion's gonna end up being on the. He's gonna end up winning it all at the end. Absolutely. How does Davos feel about Brienne, BBM?
Davos feels about Brienne?
How does Davos really feel about Brienne, knowing that she's the one that killed Stannis, but knowing Stannis okayed Melisandre to burn the daughter?
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't know, honestly, at this point.
Hey, hold on. Before you guys go any further, I got to get out of here. It's great being with you guys. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.
JD.
Take care, JD.
I wanted that BBM. I saw him sitting there. I wanted to rock him on that one. We're going to rock out on that one. We'll let everybody think about that one. I think that's a great one. What do you got going on for the rest of the week, BBM?
So for the rest of the week, I have to watch the 100. Then, oh yeah, since like, oh yeah, and Marvel's Cloak and Dagger until Sunday comes around where I react to the episode 4 of Game of Thrones because like Gotham ended, Supernatural ended. Oh, looks like my week is kind of even more full. Maybe I have to like pick up another show. I remember Andy talked about what's the show called on Netflix, that superhero one. What
The Umbrella Academy.
There we go. Umbrella Academy. I can like watch that or something. Till then, that's pretty much my week. But same time, as you were saying with Davos and Brienne, he was more invested with Shireen than Stannis at that point. Because when he guessed I'm not sure, does he know that Stannis allowed her to freaking burn Shireen? If so, then it's like, you know what, he probably did deserve to die.
Yeah, but he saw the shadow baby being born, so he knows Brienne didn't do it.
No, he's talking about that now Davos knows that Brienne killed Stannis.
Oh, you mean like when she killed him in the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying.
Because obviously Davos is going to feel some way about Stannis in the first place for burning his little girl.
No, but I definitely agree with BBM because he already abandoned Stannis. He's like, yo, you basically burned Shireen, and he kind of figured it out that he was sending him away to do that. You know what I mean? He just couldn't say anything. That's why he gave her that stag.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Got everybody. If Bubba Husky's in there or Phoenix in there, Nancy T, Peter Griffin, if you guys are still around, LMR, drop a name in there or drop it in before next week if you want to still get in that, who your survivor pick is. And once you David Adams still need yours as well. What you got going on for the rest of the week, Petey?
Oh man, just watching y'all, bro. I don't do much, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been working on some of the art stuff, and I'm making some keychains. I got some bracelets. You know what I mean? Everything I'm doing is Weirwood based. You know what I mean? It's all just Weirwood themed. You know what I mean? Everybody knows me. I'm House Weirwood all day. So I look at this. You can see this one right here. It's like a little bangle. You know what I mean? With the white.
There you go. Nice.
That shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Just got a whole bunch of little things I'm making just to be ready for the con.
If you go with designs, I need a new profile picture, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this bit emoji I'm always constantly rocking with at this point.
You say what?
If you're good with designs, I need a new profile picture, man. I'm tired of this 8-bit emoji thing, whatever. Not 8-bit emoji, the bit emoji.
I can make something for you, bro. Yeah,
I'll hit you up later.
OBS. Remember, I had the little Weirwood chat set up. You know what I'm saying? I want to do that again.
Definitely. What's up, Andy? What do you got going on for the rest of the week?
I'll probably just be playing Don't Starve Together. Like, if anybody has that game, hit me up. Because I'm always trying to find people to play with. So, it's just basically a game where you try not to die, where everything's trying to kill you. It's pretty fun, but it's pretty difficult.
I'm playing that with him. That shit is fun, though.
Yo, it's hard, though. Like, you surviving 20 days is tough. Like, time goes by, and it's pretty realistic. It doesn't look realistic, but like everything kills you. Like cold will kill you. You die from nighttime. This shit happens like it would in real life. Like you don't have any light. Things will come and kill you. But that's what I'll be doing. I might stream it one time just so people can see what it's about. Because now I have it on the PlayStation, so I might do it there. It's easier to stream from that. Really.
Nice. Awesome. Well, yeah, I absolutely love this episode. Absolutely love you guys coming on. Thanks for everybody being here. I want to thank everybody that's still in the chat out there rocking. Thanks so much for being here. Chrissy of Old Stones, Living My Rhapsody, 1-2 David Adams, Bubba, Nixie, everybody. Gilbert Hernandez, I see out there. We had some new names. Sam Florida, thanks for being out here. We do this every single Tuesday night from here on out. Even after the show's over, we're still going to be rocking the books and a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, we're going to be doing it every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So if you're not doing anything, come on back. Hope everybody has an absolutely amazing rest of the weekend. Until we see you next time, game on.